Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 52nd edition of the Home Theater Hub. That's right, 1 year anniversary. We got Mr. Shane Lee on the channel for the 1 year anniversary today. Big dog. What's going on, Shane? How are you?
I had no idea it was your 1 year anniversary. I feel privileged.
No, absolutely. We thank you for joining us.
Yep.
I feel privileged that we're celebrating your 1 year on my channel.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
know.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ike. How you been, sir? What you got going on this past week?
I'm doing good. Just all work, very little play. Like I was telling you behind the scene, I tried to watch something in the home theater last night, and I woke up 1 a.m. with projector and everything just watching me instead. But it's been fun, and 1 year of talking with you every week, man, it's crazy.
We had 52. This is our 52nd episode, but I think we did skip one, maybe one for Thanksgiving last year or something like that. But speaking of Thanksgiving, the wife told me I got to do it on Wednesday. So I don't know if you can arrange that for your wife. If obviously we gotta okay it with both parties, right? So.
Yeah, the fact that you even had to ask because you had to be reminded, it has me even worried, man. I wasn't going to be doing any type of stream on Thursday.
Yeah, no, my wife was like, no, do it on Wednesday just in case we decide to go somewhere or do something on Friday. So
yeah,
but yeah, how about you, Shane? How's your week been, sir?
Very good. I was telling you earlier, I was redoing my kitchen and met my mother-in-law today, first time, and celebrating your 1 year anniversary with you guys. So I'm having a very good weekend, and my first time back in the theater in about a week and a half. So
very good, very good. So what you got? Give us a little background for. I mean, those of you that, by the way, congratulations on quietly hitting 100,000 subs there. You're up to 104,000 subs. So, but I looked on your community tab or anything like that. You didn't really make any announcements or anything like that, So I was trying to look. When did you hit 100,000?
I think unlike most other YouTubers out there, I never give milestone updates or anything like that. Because I feel like that's a little gloating a little bit, so I try to be a little under the radar with all that stuff. I just let it all ride out,
Yeah, I figured I'd bring it to the forefront for you because, like I said, I didn't see anything, and I was looking the other day at your channel. I was like, oh man, Shane surpassed 100 grand. So thank you. I mean, just fantastic job on that. For someone that's trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. What kind of advice would you give someone like myself or Ike, as far as, how to build your channels, do it?
Yeah. So I would say if you're reviewing a product that you really like, make sure you give it a positive review, reach out to the company and say, listen, I gave you a positive review. I would like to be a shill for your brand. And then, like say AudioQuest or something like that. That way you get more people coming to your channel, hating on you, leaving more and more comments, which boosts up your channel, and you get other products that you really like you can shill for as well. So that is one secret that nobody will ever tell you, but you heard it here first.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Now I got to redo the last video that I was just working on. I think I may have missed a huge chunk of it. I should probably go back and do some B-roll.
That's funny. Mr. Paul, welcome to the party, sir.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. Paul meets Shane. Shane meets Paul.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, sir. What's up, Croson? AKA Paul.
What kind of beer are we drinking today, Paul?
What kind of fruity beer we're drinking today?
Today we're drinking a Quirk Rocket Pop. It's
Raspberry
a Boulevard
Rocket
Brewery local. So pretty good.
Go ahead.
I find that IPAs always screw with my stomach every time. I could just have like a half of one, and my stomach is shot for the whole day.
Yeah, wheat probably is more of a wheat intolerance type of deal.
Oof. Yeah, it's bad. Definitely stay away from that stuff. It'll be
Yeah,
like,
I'm still waiting for the day he drinks a beer that doesn't have some type of fruit name on it. So,
I've done that. Well,
yeah,
like the
see,
chocolate.
you don't even
porters
remember.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
once
it's
the
not
snow
a
starts falling, you'll see more chocolatey stouts and peanut butter porters and all kinds of fun stuff.
you know,
yeah.
since we're also on my channel, why don't you tell the guys who you are and where they can find you if they want to subscribe?
So I'm Don, Horizon Home Theater. I've had a channel for a while here, probably about 4 years. I rarely post to it, but every week we do a live stream between Ike and my channel. My channel is Horizon Home Theater. So, every Thursday night, 9:30, we're here. Unless, of course, the wife tells us that we have to do it on Wednesday, just like I was talking about for Thanksgiving. So, but yeah, we talk about gear. We mainly try to focus on home theater tours. As long as we got something scheduled, right? It's kind of hard to have a home theater tour every single week, but we've done a pretty good job of it this past year. I'd say over 3/4 of the shows we've had a home theater tour, and that's something that I really like. That Shane, when you did the roasting on your channel, the roasting of the home theaters, and that's something that I enjoy the most out of. But Ike, I'll let you go next.
Well, you already told him my name, so I guess there's no need to do that. But yes, my name is Ike, Easy HD Tech. That's the YouTube channel name. And just like Don talked about, right, we like to have great time, have fun. We do the weekly Home Theater Hub live stream every Thursdays, and we try to get, everyone to come out and show us their home theater, regardless of what type of home theater, open living room spaces, dedicated home theaters. I'm still waiting for a 2-channel, type of setup that wants to come, but it could be $1 million. It could be $10,000. Feel free to, reach out to us and come on the show. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to see, your home theater and just have fun. So that's really what we do. So thanks for the opportunity, Shane.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is Paul Croson. He's our third co-host.
I'm just here for the camaraderie and talking shit. That's what I do.
No, you're the resident geek. Just in case we get questions about speakers and measurements. No, we'll let you speak for yourself, Paul.
And then we got Dr. J.
We got C-Big. No, so Shane, so what we do is we kind of host like a Zoom call, right? We let anybody that wants to join come on. They can pop in, pop out. It doesn't, could just be a listener, could be, a home theater enthusiast, if they have questions or whatever, we allow members of the audience just to come on and join us and discuss whenever they get a hair under their butt and they want to come up and talk about something, right? So but like we said, Paul's our technical guy. He does a lot of the measurements and he knows a little bit about everything, to be honest with you. He's a jack of all trades, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
don't let
master of none. Keep that in mind. Yeah. My actual day job is an actual engineer, so that's. And I used to do car audio competitions back when IASCA and USAC were a bigger thing in the area here. But other than that, I have no claim to, knowledge or fame, but my snake oil ears are very attuned and acute to most things. So, but and Chuck, he's a good friend of ours. We all have hung out in person, and I took him on a beer tour actually while they were here.
Ooh.
So
I see you got some Valencias there, Chuck.
No, I have paradigms.
No, the seats.
The chairs.
Valencia, yeah. I had these now for quite a few years actually. This is probably
Yeah.
one of the earlier models.
Still going strong. How are those motors? They still holding up?
Oh yeah, I haven't had any problem with them actually. So I'm
yeah,
good.
I see that comment often. Sometimes I'll get like, "Hey man, my Valencia motors are dead." I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. What are you complaining to me for? So I was curious how yours were doing.
Yeah, I've had mine at least 4 years, and I've never had any problem with them.
Yeah, I've not heard that either.
yeah, I haven't heard that. I guess people probably speak to, you know, influencers more because they're, you know, had bad experience. But just like anything, you know, if people complain, you know, more than they talk about how awesome, you know, if something's good, hear about it, you know.
You guys are influencers too.
And I actually spend a lot of time in this room. So I do use, you know, especially this center chair, I use every day.
Yeah.
Chuck sleeps in that chair daily.
I do that as well.
Fall asleep many a time.
I work hard, so these
it's well earned.
So late at night that by 11 o'clock, you know, well, 10 o'clock, from being honest, I find myself like dozing off. It's like, okay, I gotta go.
I definitely don't blame you, man.
Yeah.
So Chuck, what on the street is, you know, you linked up with JTR, man. What's up, man? What's going on?
Oh,
yeah, actually, I went to Youth Man's. You know, I live in Florida, so I went and checked out his theater, and I liked the JTR subs. You know, actually, his whole system was nice, but I went ahead and purchased 4 of the RS1s, and I want to. I'm considering changing my speakers as well, because I have paradigms and they're, you know, the towers and the center under the screen, but I want to go behind screen, you know, listening to his system. That impressed me a lot, hearing the voice coming from the screen. And so I'm actually interested in the RBHs, you know.
Ooh.
And I heard you were coming on the show, you know, so I wanted to hear your take on them. Now I'm thinking of the 831s as my front stage and the 821s as my surrounds.
Ooh, you're going big, Chuck.
I know.
Big
Chuck, that's Chuck though. He goes all the way.
All the way.
No halfway.
It takes a while for me to save up the money, you know. So it's not a, you know, right away thing. But that is the route that I'm exploring, you know. Now,
so I
get Kefs. Oh no, get the Kefs, you know, has a wider
dispersion,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
so you want to, all right, so you change your mind from JTR to getting something good by going with RBH or KEF. So I say it's a good choice.
Now the RBH is leading the pack, you know, but I have to do more research, and that's because I've been looking at them for a while. The KEFs, I just started looking at them, so I don't know enough yet to say one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the JTR is going to have a slightly different sound. It's a compression driver. Compression drivers tend to have a slightly different sound to them. Obviously, they're great for SPL if you want to bang out really hard and loud. You know, everyone that I've heard, they sound pretty good. Not my taste in speakers, but if you want something a little bit more I don't know, maybe more subtle, more svelte, maybe a little bit more smoother. Something like what Don's got. He's got the Motion series that's got the ribbon tweeters or the AMT, like the RBHs do.
Right.
So it's got a more nice, what's the word? Pretty spacious, somewhat delicate to it. As like an electrostat, but still pretty good finesse up top. I wouldn't say they're as directional or let's say a Kefwood, usually those coaxials have pretty good directivity. They're pretty laser point accurate, kind of like an Ascendo speaker would sound. So if you want a little bit more precision, more direction, then I'd say maybe the Kef would be the way to go. But both those speakers have pretty good wide dispersion, good off-axis response, and I mean you definitely gotta hear it. Like I would say, if you heard some Motion Series speakers, would be very similar to the RBHs, and then obviously you can go to Best Buy or Magnolia and hear Kefs because they have them there. I'm pretty sure, or at least the blades. I know they have the blades.
They have. I think they have the towers. They have the towers. Plus, you'd be able to hear. You'd be able to hear the Motion Series there too. The Martin Logan Motion.
So
series.
that will give you an idea of how their on wall or in wall will sound, listening to the blades.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously the Motions are going to be probably towers. I think they have there. You probably get a little bit more bass out of them because they're like standalone speakers. Right. The on-wall stuff. Well, you're thinking about getting the big 8-inchers, so those will definitely have more bass than what I have. I only have the 6.5s, so those are kind of limited to about 70 hertz or so. Whereas I think the 8s are like 50 hertz, so you'll get a little bit more boom out of them over mine, which I'm a fan of. I would have gotten 8s, but I just felt they'd be too big and overpowering for the aesthetics in my room. So I wanted to keep it kind of as svelte as possible.
Yeah.
So what size room is yours, Shane? What's the dimensions of your room?
So mine is 14 wide by 24 deep, 24 and a half deep, and 10-foot ceilings. So 10 foot in the front and then about 8 in the back in the second row, because my riser is about 2 feet.
Yep. And do you feel that, the 6-inch RBH that you have, do you feel that they're lacking any SPL or anything like that? But do you feel like you have to really push them to get what you want, or?
No, dude, I got 18 speakers in here, so 18 speakers fills up the space pretty good.
Yeah,
and you're driving over the Trinnov too, so it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how loud. Like, I know, like, people like to get the JTRs and all that, but then I see those big ass speakers in rooms smaller than mine. I'm like, what are you guys doing to your hearing? Because I know you guys are like 40, 50 years old, and our ears. I'm like almost 50. And my ears are not that great, and I'm trying to preserve them as much as possible. So give me a speaker that has great fidelity. Screw the SPL. Give me a quality speaker, also one that looks good. So I mean.
Yeah,
that's why I went with what I went for.
I was scared of the JTRs fatiguing me,
Yeah.
And
but you like them though. I mean, if you like them, you like them.
They sound great.
Yeah.
I like how they sound. They're very, and because that's because you're getting a short burst,
Yeah.
So they're very dynamic. They're very precise, So they do sound great. But I was thinking in the long run, every day,
Yeah.
Is it going to start to fatigue,
Yeah, I think
I would say
the RPHs with this a little smoother
Yeah.
sound, maybe I wouldn't have that issue.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you were gonna listen to demos like at Michael's house or somebody else that has them, then I would say you control the volume, pick something that you really know really well at your volume that you like to hear. Because I think at demos, people usually like to jack things up to, sound impressive, where it's probably a lot louder than you would probably listen to. So put it at like a moderate level that you like. Because I think most of us probably listen at moderate levels. Just to hear the little details and that you hear in your speakers, or can you hear something a little bit more or not? So that's what I would recommend that you do.
Yeah.
So Chuck, I don't know what your budget is, but Bobby Digital brings up a great player that you might want to consider. These Wisdom Audio speakers. I don't know. I mean,
is that a higher budget?
Yeah, I mean, they're line array speakers, so you're going to get even sound throughout the whole entire room. You can literally be like right next to one, and then it'll sound just like you sound the same if you walk 10 feet away. So it's those wisdom speakers. We had Matt from Brolic Media on. That's what he's got all throughout his theater. But yeah, no, I would, look into those too. They have they have an air motion tweeter or a folded ribbon tweeter also in those too.
Okay, I'll check them out. Probably above my budget, but I'll check them out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the RBHs though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, look, you know that I talked about. I specifically made a trip to the Florida Audio Expo just to hear the RBHs. Unfortunately they weren't there. I misread the paper. I thought they were going to be there, but made it to Mwave, and that was the first booth I went into. So now you're switching it to peach, right?
Yeah, I gotta switch it up, man.
You go from raspberry to peach.
peach.
But yeah, I mean, that was the first booth that I made it into because I wanted to hear exactly how they sounded. And like Shane said, there were a lot of similarities to the motion series. I did think the mid-range came through a little bit better than my motion series. But the highs and the lows I felt were about the same. So, definitely consider, the RBHs. So Shane, for your room, what is there? Do you have a special, like an LCR versus surrounds? Do they make a special type of speaker just for left, center, right?
No, they're all exactly the same. They're all exactly the same. I mean, I felt a little bad asking. I was like, hey, man, could you give me 18 of the same speaker? They're like, well, don't you want to go with bigger ones in the front? I was like, no, I want to go exactly the same. They're like, okay, we'll do it. Because not only is your timbre going to be the same, if you're doing room correction, your room correction doesn't have to try to match the rest of the speakers to your LCRs. So there's equal power from your amps. Everything just sounds more like a sweet, I say it all the time, cohesive bubble. And not everybody can go exactly the same. I get it. A lot of people want to go big up front. But trust me, if you go exactly the same, I mean, like mixing studios will use exactly the same monitors, like Gen X or whatever they're using. So, I mean, if they're doing it there, why can't I do it here in my house?
Right.
So
Even your Atmos, you would do the same?
Yeah. Exactly the same.
Yep. I'm a big proponent of that too. I know there's a lot of people that'll argue it, but it's just, I know the room controls it more, but it doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily need them all to match like on the Atmos and some of them, but it's a peace of mind for me of, hey, everything is equal. Whatever is different on the output of these speakers is the room controlling it, and I can treat the room to accommodate for that.
But that is something I thought about doing, save a little money too, but doing, instead of the 31s, doing the 21s up front.
Mm-hmm.
I have considered that as well.
So would you rather keep the same level, the same speakers of, let's say, a lower end versus mix matching, like let's just say the next level, right, of the same type of speaker?
Yeah, that's me.
I'm just asking everyone.
To me, most people, they say timbre match, right? And they think, as long as the tweeter is the same. But the reality is the front baffle and the size does change how the directivity is affected. So therefore, your off axis, sure, most of it, and maybe most of it doesn't really matter. It's still enjoyable. I'm not saying it's something you have to do, but there is just something about all matching speakers. And I tell this story, and I know you guys have heard this story. I had thousands of dollars worth of speakers, and they were, they were sort of matched. They were timbre matched. And then one of my friends, she wanted to buy a cheap system, and I did. I bought just in a box thing, and she had a small, like 8, not even 8, like 8x5 room, and I set up her theater in a box thing, and the immersion was better on her cheap ass system because everything was the same. I was like, God damn. I was like, I got like more and like 10 times more in one speaker than this whole system. And I'm like, shit, this thing sounds better than mine. Like, damn it.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing a post of like a video of a guy that had the LS50s that dropped down out of a ceiling and surrounded him completely around his whole entire setup. And I mean, everything was LS50s. I could just imagine. I mean, those are to me, those are a bright speaker, but I could just imagine how that thing sounded. Being all the same speaker. When I put mine together, I tried to do the same. Instead of going with the 6-inch in ceilings, I went with the 8-inch Martin Logans that have the same exact 2.5-inch motion tweeter and the 8-inch driver, just like my towers do. So, I try to match everything as best that I could to make sure that it's timbre matched.
Have you seen any what do you call it? I don't know what you call it. Any line graphs of the RBHs, like the
measurements?
The measurements.
Yeah. I mean, they'll send them to you. Just email them. They'll send it to you.
And how do they look? Are they a very linear speaker?
Yeah, it's pretty linear. I think I have them for mine. I don't know if I put them in the video in my review or not. I think I did. I think there's a slight roll off on the top end. At least on mine, I believe there was. But it's not like ruler flat like the Perlissons are, but they are pretty linear for the most part. I personally do like a slightly brighter speaker, so I wish these were a little bit brighter for me personally. But it sounds really smooth though, so I will say that.
So he's looking for more like either an on-wall or an in-wall. Shane, you also had the Ascendos there. How would you compare? Because they obviously make an on-wall edition too, Chuck. So how would you compare the two?
So with the Ascendos, you definitely need a subwoofer with them. I can kind of get away with, I don't want to say get away with not having a sub with these, but these have a little bit more, I don't know, like mid-range bite, maybe just a tad more bass to them. Whereas like there's certain movies where you might hear a voice travel through the speakers where it sounds like an actual man speaking through them if there's, bass in their voice. On the Ascendos, they drop off pretty hard at about 100 hertz. So that's essentially just a satellite speaker. As good as the speakers are, I mean, they kind of traded off SPL for more of a fuller sound. So that's why they can play up to like 126 dB or 130 or whatever he touts. I would never hit that, but I felt like the RBH is were a more dynamic sounding speaker from bottom end up to the top end. But like I said, with the Kev speakers, the Ascendos are just like pinpoint, man. Just like in that Gravity scene at the beginning where the dude just what is his name? Ed Harris's voice is just like traveling around through all the speakers. I mean, it's like a laser. It's like everywhere. You can really hear them. It's a little bit, I mean, you can still hear them with the RBHs, don't get me wrong, but it's just like very focused with these Ascendos. So there's that. So there's a trade-off with, directionality compared to a more dynamic sounding speaker. And of course, they say that you can cross them over 80 hertz. It's really like 100 hertz. And then the subwoofers would handle that. But I like a little bit more beef coming out of my speakers. So you can feel, a little bit more weight rather than just dropping everything into your subwoofer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the JTRs, you shouldn't have any problem with those picking up, where the speakers.
Well, what and the other 5 subwoofers you have in your room?
So
no,
Chuck,
right?
are
What are
you
you
gonna?
gonna do to the other subs? You got?
I'm hoping he uses them as near field. That's what I'm hoping he does.
Who?
You Chuck,
You,
yeah, you gotta
Oh,
talking
put those
about you and
fathoms
your-
right. You gotta put those fathoms right up against the seats there and use them as near field.
Nah, I think I'm gonna sell them. I gotta pay for the other ones. I'm selling everything.
No, I was thinking about this the other day. I know we had a lengthy phone call conversation the other day, and I was thinking about. I'm like, look, it might be better after we hung up. I said, it might be better because you're looking for that tactile feeling, right? It might be better for you to use those fathoms as near field. Just put them right behind your seats. I think you definitely get a nice rumble out of the seats at that point.
Yeah, you're probably right. But would I get the same thing if I got some Crosons or something like that? Won't be
Yeah.
the same, obviously, but it'd take up less room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you got to set it up and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But that's, I mean,
I have
it's probably going to be easy for you. That's kind of what you do every day, right? You got to
Who, me?
install that stuff under the chair.
See,
Just
yeah,
carpentry
I
work.
could do that installing. My biggest issue would be I'm not technical when it comes to hooking all of this up. So I got the AV10, which has 4 sub outs. I have 4 subs. Makes it easy. When you start getting into 7 subs, and I don't know if you're daisy chaining them or whatever you're trying to do.
Mini DSP.
You got to do like Shane and just buy an altitude 32.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's your next
I mean,
upgrade. Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, it was only last week. It seems like it was only last week we were trying to convince him to buy a projector screen, right?
No, that's been 2 years now.
Yeah, but it just feels like it was yesterday. You've gone so deep down the rabbit hole now.
Because I've always had the speakers, but I used a TV.
Yep.
So that was my big upgrade, was going from a TV, a 75-inch, to a 150-inch screen.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to buy anything, and he bought more stuff than
he
all
was
of us
like,
combined. A
it
new
was an M-Wave,
JVC,
right?
an XA,
He's like, oh, I don't want anything, and he left
auto
M-Wave with a big
masking
screen and projector.
I'm like, not going to buy anything.
Like I took him there because I was going to sell him a screen, right? I'll meet you there. I'll show you the Seymour screens and this and that, and then they were giving such a good deal. He couldn't resist. I said, Chuck, I can't even touch this deal. Just buy this thing from this man.
Yeah.
as they were shutting down the
those
show.
guys are good guys. Yeah, they're fun to hang
Yeah,
out
that's
with.
how I got that and the NZ8. They got a good deal on them. So I was like, okay.
Where'd you get the NZ8 from? Where'd you get the NZ8 from?
Both of them at M-Wave.
Oh,
So it was from Ryan.
Oh,
And I
got you.
got the screen
Okay.
from Chris.
Listen,
Seymour.
why didn't you email? I would have sold you my NZ8 for like $5,000.
Ooh.
A couple of years ago.
2 years
never
ago?
mind.
So I will second that because Shane actually did sell me an NZ7 for a super price.
You know, that's
You remember that, Shane?
I
Yeah, I remember
watch
that,
him all the time. I've got to become a patron so I can get in on these deals.
I know, right? I'm calling
right.
dibs on your Trinnov, Shane. So when you decide to upgrade in 2 years,
you missed the Trinnov 16 when I sold that one. That went pretty good deal.
I want the 32. When you upgrade, I'll come get it for $10,000.
What is he at? 24, right? He's got 24 now.
Yeah, 24.
Okay. You know how many people are on that list already?
You got to react fast. Shane, when I bought that projector from him, Shane was like, "Oh, I got a guy." I'm like, "Look, I got money in hand. Yeah, I'm like, I'll send it to you right now. You'll get a PayPal for it right now. You ain't got to wait for nobody else."
Sold.
We got a question for you, Chuck. How you liking the AV10?
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And I've always, the funny thing is, I consider myself a deal seeker. If I could get a deal, then, and if it's still a good product on top of it, I'm going to go that route. Because I was really interested in the Anthem. but I was scared at the time. It had quite a few bugs because I have Paradigm speakers and I know they match well, but it had quite a few bugs. And then the AV10, I got such a deal on it that it just went, that was it. It was like, okay,
He
for
did
that
get
price,
a pretty good deal on that.
yeah, I
I was
can't
like,
turn it
damn,
down.
I would have one of those
Yeah,
if I got it for that price. Are you kidding?
I've been buying from the same guy, and what he does, like I could have this thing for 4 years, 5 years. If I call him up, he will buy it back and discount. He already's discounting what he's going to sell you, but then he, on top of it, he takes off the price of this one, and all he does is he immediately sends you the one you want, and he'll, I think it took him like a month. He sent me an address and said, ship it over there. So he doesn't even want it because he's selling it somewhere else.
He's like a broker.
He's doing the logistics. Yeah. So that's how he's saving tons of money. He doesn't have to have a storage place of 4,000, feet of.
So he sent me the AV10 right away.
That I sold it to.
And then a month later, he sent me, because I was kind of getting worried. I'm like, wow, it's been a month. This guy's, he gonna ask for this thing or not? Then he finally texted me with an address and said, send it here. He tells you he wanted me, I forget who wanted me to send it through, FedEx or UPS, one of them. And he wanted me to put a certain amount of insurance on it. And it wasn't too bad, probably cost
What
me
did you
$100.
What did you have before the AV10?
I had the 8805. So
did you hear a difference?
I don't know that I heard a difference, but I like the fact that it had the 4 subwoofer outs and it had more channels because I wanted to go from a 7.4 to a 9.6. So it allowed me to do that.
Yeah. Are you maxed out already?
Yeah, I got a 9.6. So I think that's it. Maybe there's one more channel. I don't even know.
Yeah, Trinnov loading. I can feel it in the air.
So Shane, you've talked before on your channel about the six heights. Since you got the Trinnov and it shows you the tracker. Can you explain a little bit about that? About because I know you were saying before that it doesn't utilize all 6 channels all the time.
Yeah. So basically, if it doesn't use all 6 channels, it'll just use the top middles, which means if you have 4 channels, obviously it would use all 4 channels, but that means that the height channels are actually only in stereo. So there's actually only 2 channels functioning. So what it does is take those 2 channels and spreads it through the 4. So I guess it's it's just mirroring the image or mirroring the audio between the two sets of top channels. But if you have 6 channels, since it's only a stereo pair up top, they just set it right in the center or the middle top or middle height.
Is that a way Trinnov is doing that, or is that a way the mix is actually coming through?
That's the way the mix is made.
Oh, wow.
Do you find that more often than not, just to use the 2?
I mean, I never do that. I have a setting where I mirror everything. So if it's only coming out of the middle, I mirror all the lefts and mirror all the rights so that all 6 of them get used. I don't know if you can do that or not, but that's how I have mine set up.
It's funny, mine, if I look at I don't know if it's telling me the truth or not. You know how you can go into that option button and it'll show you which speakers are playing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I haven't really got up there to listen to see if that's really the fact.
Oh, you mean like the little graph that it shows you on the front?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's just, I think that just tells you what speaker layout you have, not actually what's active.
No, it'll say, let's say it's a 5-channel. It'll say 5-channel, but then it'll show you another graph showing you all the speakers. Because sometimes it'll show me the wides are not on. Sometimes it'll, I'll see that every now and then. But usually all 6 overheads are showing that they're on.
Okay, like all the time?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
I haven't
interesting.
physically got up there to see if it's really doing that or if it's just like you said, showing the picture.
Yeah.
So
I mean, as
it's
far as I know, every Marantz and Denouts I've had, it's just like the signal coming in, if it's 5 channels and you have a 9 layout, it'll 6. If you have
say
upmixing on, maybe if you have upmixing on, it'll like Neural X, it'll turn your wides on,
Right.
yeah, that's
or
normally what
it'll
it does. It
adjust it.
automatically upmix.
Oh,
If
okay.
it's
Well, there,
yeah,
that's probably why.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was just curious about that because, you know, I'm installing 6 Atmos also, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I wasn't sure if that was a processor thing or if that was a. Now, if you upmix, does it place them in all 6?
I've never gotten close enough to put my ear on there to tell.
Right.
And the way my amps, I used to be able to tell better because when I was using the Parasound amps, I had enough amps that I can turn off a few of them and just have overheads.
Mm-hmm.
Where now I would literally have to go in there and unplug some stuff to tell, or get on a ladder and kind of listen.
Yeah, I was talking about that last week. I wish I would have purchased a 6-channel amp just for the Atmos, so you can easily turn it on and turn off.
Yeah.
But resale value of a 6-channel amp's not very good, right? You know, I mean, most people want a 7, a 5, and a 3, right? So it's that's. But next time, I mean, I'm going to buy for. I'll probably buy those same amps that you have, Chuck, the Buckeyes with the Purify module, and then
Yeah.
I'll be able to turn them off. But Shane, what do you think about that? If the when you upmix, does it come out of all 6 speakers? Will it play out of all 6, or does it still kind of do the same thing?
Well, you can't upmix it with, like, say, you can't take Atmos and upmix it with DTS.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you can't do that. It doesn't work. You just have to array your channels.
If it's
You still have the
Atmos,
Lingdorf, right?
Atmos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never used a Lingdorf before, so I don't know if you can array your channels, like mirror different channels for different presets or what, but that's what I would say do. Like I got like a preset for just 4 tops, then I got a preset for 6 tops, then I have a preset for arrayed top, just for those instances where it's only 2 the top middles are active. So I got a couple of different presets.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And then if you have more than 1 set of surrounds, I have 2 surrounds. And sometimes only the front surrounds will be active, but then the second row surrounds won't be. And then I have a preset to mirror those as well. So left, right.
So does it mux them, or does it just give the same signal?
Yeah, it's just the same signal.
Okay. Yeah, because the MP40, the Lindorf MP40, that would actually mux the wides together to be the surround, and they would actually mux it together. So I was just curious if how the Trinnov handled that.
Well, you would just turn on upmixing with like Neural X, can use the wides. So for 5-channel sources or 7-channel sources, I would just turn on DTS X, and that'll upmix it.
Yep.
But Trinnov doesn't have like a proprietary own upmixer to activate. No, get the wides. If the wides aren't active, it can't say, "Oh, I'm going to upmix Atmos to turn on the wides." You would do that somewhere, like your shelf to do that. Yeah, but it can be done if you want it.
Just use our 3D upmixer, man. I said it.
Bring it out of retirement, right?
Oh my God. I've heard the word.
I
I don't
actually
even want to
missed
hear
my-
that word ever again. That is
I actually missed my Denon receiver for that, right? Because the AVM 70 doesn't have it. But yeah.
So you can take Atmos and oral upmix it.
I don't think you can do it for Atmos.
No, you gotta dumb it down. You got to go back to 5.1.
You got to go back to 5 to the bed layers and then do the upmix. Yeah.
Now I'll
Some
go
people
back
like
and
it.
forth and upmix music in Oro. I'll go 2
Yeah, a lot
channels
of people like
and I'll upmix music sometimes. You get a fuller sound.
So Shane, tell us about this new phenomenon projector that you reviewed. The Valerion.
Yeah, the one that is breaking the internet.
It's breaking the internet, right?
The one all of
we
you
had a
guys are
question
shilling
about
for.
it. We had a question about this last week.
We heard
Yeah.
it's better than the JVC, man. The JVC needs to go back to
Yeah, way better. That's what I hear. That's what the marketing people are paying. I mean, that's what reviewers are saying. That's what I'm hearing.
Man, I thought you were a JVC shield, Shane.
JVC.
I thought you were a JVC shield, and now you're on Valerion. God, man, you didn't take my.
Well, I will be honest. I think I said in the video, for its price category, for $1,200 or I think it's like $1,300 or something for that price category. Yeah, it's like the best $1,300 projector I've seen. So there's that. Is it better than a JVC? No, obviously not. I mean, I try to show it in the video, but you just can't tell in the video.
Can't tell to the video.
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
You really can't. But yeah, it's still a pixel shifter. It's using the 0.47 chip, which is like, the lowest one. It's not like a Barco where that's like 4K using wobulation to get, resolve 8 million pixels. It just doesn't work the same. It's you can tell, you can see the pixels on it. Whether or not you turn on the 4K upscaler or not, you could still see it. It's there. I can see it. Whereas if you go and look at JVC, you can't see the pixels. Even if I'm like this close to the screen, I can't see it. But then on the opposite spectrum, DLP has a specific, very digitally clean look.
Yeah.
Maybe you like that look. I mean, sometimes I like it. Have you in a projector? I'm just like, man, I was like, that's a really sharp, crispy looking picture. But then if you want to like try to get it to resolve like single line of pixels or something like that, I can't really do it that well. Stuff like that. Just the clarity. The JVC has more filmic look. The DLPs have their own, digitally clean, upscaled look to it. No, it's not like a Barco where it upscales it, where it still looks like it could be film. This very clearly looks like a $1,200 projector, and they all look the same. I mean, the Valerion has maybe the best black levels I've seen out of a DLP projector that I've had. I will give it that. It's got that enhanced black level or something like that. It doesn't get like the best shadow detail. Like it drops down the black levels where it's kind of, I won't say like JVC levels of black, but better than most DLP projectors, even like $5,000 DLP projectors. I would say the Valerion did look a little bit better than that as well. But resolution across the board, whether it's BenQ, Optoma, Valerion, the 4K just looks like they all look the same essentially. It's like you've seen one, you kind of seen them all, and they all use the Google TV, which it's okay the first time you break it out of the box, it's pretty snappy, but after a while, you start loading up some apps on it. Google TV always gets fucking boggy, laggy. I mean, I've had multiple Sony TVs. They all really snappy. You first do the review because everybody does it. The first like zipping through it. Now my TV, if I'm trying to use the app, it'll just reboot by itself because it's so laggy. So that's why I always advocate for like an Apple TV or Roku or something like that, because your built-in OS always sucks.
For the best consistent experience, Apple TV has always been my go-to.
Yeah,
that's the remote that the girlfriend uses. That sits on that's it. I don't have any multi-controlling remote. The Apple TV does everything. It turns on the projector, the sound system, everything, the volume, and control all the apps through that one little bitty Apple TV remote.
Yeah.
I hate it.
That's what I would use.
Except when you have to find it when it's in between the couch or something.
Oh, dude, there's if you're in the iPhone family, which I didn't realize this, you can actually use your iPhone to find your remote. I had to do that once. I was, where the hell is this damn thing?
Or The only time I don't like it is when my 3-year-old grabs it and I try to like take it from her because it's so touch sensitive. And before you know it, she's turned on the projector, turned on every freaking
Turn on your after hours channel, and you're like, oh,
no, you don't
What's
connect any
happening?
of that in the theater. But yeah, it's so touch sensitive. I think that's the only downside for the Apple remote for me, at least with kids.
I
think
hated
for
the
adults
first
it's easier,
generation
but
of
once
the
you have
Apple
kids,
remote.
it's crazy, man.
I hated the one that didn't have like the round circle, and you just kind of scrolled across the oh my
yes,
god, that was the
everyone.
worst
I
remote
hated that.
ever made.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, everyone hated that.
I
There
just
was-
got these comments. I missed all these comments, huh? I was just turned that on.
Yep.
there's a
I
lot
mean,
of
I
Paradigm
haven't
fans out there.
tested any of them, but I mean, Valerion seems to be riding the hype. You know, the AWOL has been out there for some time now, so it's gonna.
Yeah.
And they've been made by the same company, like you said. So I'm not sure how
Yeah.
different. You know, I think the strength of the Valerion is in that price point, right? It's really good for what you get at that price point. So
You-
we'll
I
never
probably-
know.
Isn't it supposed to be like $4,000 though? When it's
Oh,
fully
yeah.
Pro version.
Oh.
I think there's a
The
pro
Pro
Yeah,
version.
that's
Yeah.
the pro.
no, the Pro version.
They have different versions of
Yeah.
it. So
But anything below
So-
that, doesn't it have just a regular like tripod mount little dongle adapter thing on?
I believe they're all the same, except the top two models have an optical zoom. The other ones don't have an optical zoom, and that's a pretty big deal. I don't think I mentioned. I probably should have mentioned in the video. But for $1,300, you're not getting an optical zoom. You have to, like for my screen, I have to put it like right here at this seat here. So this is
Oh,
about 10
wow.
feet.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks
So
like they
that's-
have the Pro and then they have the Max. Man.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, that's like 10 feet away to get about 100 inches. That sucks basically, unless you, you know, that's a big compromise right there for a lot of folks. That's kind of a deal breaker. If I was in that situation, I couldn't buy it because of that.
Yep, except if you go for the Max, I guess. Hopefully
Yeah.
that has a larger throw. Okay, Giles is saying the Max has the variable iris.
Yeah.
You better, because I think it's the most expensive one they have.
And if you look at the unit, it looks like a gigantic heat sink, like a aluminum heat sink.
Yep.
So it looks like it's super expensive. It's essentially painted plastic. So I mean, there's that.
Ew.
So it's it looks more expensive than, you know, you feel it. It looks more expensive than it is. It's 13. So maybe what do you expect? What can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, looks like
$1,300, I
my
would
Spidey sense
be
doesn't
fair.
like it. There's been
$1,300.
so many people reviewing this thing. They've sent out so many. It's like, that's weird. Like usually products speak for themselves. This one seems like,
And it
it's
looks
on-
like they
Kickstarter
reached their goal. It
good.
looks like they reached their goal
They did?
yesterday or today.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I saw
All
where
right.
I think they reached 6 million or something.
That
and
was just
then,
in the last few days. Well, last week or so. 'cause I
6
think they
million
were-
sold.
oh
Yeah,
no, the
Kickstarter.
target goal
No.
was
The
it? Yeah, was
target
it
goal
2
was
million
like
or-
$10 million.
Yeah, they reached either 6 million and then they started promising 3D glasses, like a pair of 3D glasses for the next level of goals. So
The 3D glasses are going to be the paper red and blue lens. I don't know. Anyone
now,
on here?
now we're not gonna
I
get
know
any
Chuck's
for
old
review
enough.
because you just made us laugh. Now we can't get review copies because we laughed.
I'm trying
It's
to
a
find
bad joke.
the different
I remember those
Different
glasses
models,
at the theaters.
You remember? Yeah, like it was the
Yeah, one red, one blue.
yeah. The drive-in, doing those at the drive-in. That was awesome.
I remember taking one home thinking it was gonna work on my TV, like I had a 3D movie or something, my VCR. I was like,
Yeah.
these might work at home.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
So Giles is saying this right.
I'm trying to find the different models so that we can see what the models look like.
So it's a lifestyle product and it's punching way over his weight, and it's only V1. Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
For 1,300. Like I said, it's probably one of the best ones for that $1,300 price range that I've had. So
Yeah, that'd be a good
there's
RV.
that.
That'd be a good RV projector, you know? That type of
Yeah.
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 Now you have a lot of people. I mean, even events. You know how sometimes, whether it's a wedding or something, people will put a projector somewhere just to show photos and stuff like that. I mean, it has a lot of uses, I think.
Yeah, and it might be a good place to start for budget home theater. Like if you're, like a really, really budget, if you have that, if you don't mind the 100-inch diagonal screen, right? And you have 10 foot to throw it, who knows? Might just work.
Yeah, it's for some tight spaces.
Yeah.
You got shots fired on their website. Look, they specifically put the shape
Sony.
the shape of the Sony and the X Jimmy, right? There was shots fired on the website.
Oh yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah. Ooh, 2000.
It is, I'll say what. It is a bright projector. I'll give it that. It's pretty bright for the last thing.
That's bright.
Yeah, I mean,
People,
look,
I don't know.
I'd love to see it.
Look, it has HDR10, and the
I got-
competitor doesn't have it. HDR10.
I got one for sale. I got one for sale for a cheap price.
Is that on the Patreon still? Let me go see what I can negotiate over.
I know, right? Hey, so you can get it for review, dog. Go swipe that card.
Oh god. Did someone say 3D? Oh, don't get Don started on his 3D. He's the only guy that watches 3D movies. Actually,
Shane,
Shane,
you still watch 3D movies?
Yeah.
I got my glasses all lined up behind my seat there.
Yeah, see?
Are
I'm like the only one.
Oh, okay. So you really enjoy the 3D movies? You would rather watch a 3D movie than a regular, or you just like if it's 3D, you'll enjoy it?
Well, it's got to be a good one.
Yeah.
Well, look. Now
Look,
you
see, look at the comments flying in. I like 3D. Giles just got his first 3D glasses. Yeah, look, man, I'm telling you, 3D is making a comeback.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's his what the fourth or fifth time, man. What?
Hisense just brought 3D back on their latest UST.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
No,
I shot the review
look,
like 3 days ago, but
I guess the next Avatar movie is in the making then, because what was the last 3D movie that came out? Big budget 3D movie that came out.
I know where 3D went. It's
Wolverine,
Transformers.
Yeah,
Wolverine.
Transformers
1.
No.
Yeah,
Wild Robot.
1, Wolverine.
All
Wild
3D
Robot.
movies are shot in Oro 3D audio.
No, look, I enjoy 3D movies. I some of them are obviously much better than others, right? With the 3D effects, and I actually belong to the 3D Facebook group too. I know they have a couple 3D Facebook groups, and most of the time you gotta import them from either Japan or for the bigger name movies, unfortunately.
UK has a lot of them.
From the
Yeah.
UK, yeah.
UK or Japan, you can get pretty much anything.
So
I've got the AWOL Pro. What is it, 3500 Pro? So I'm assuming the 3D is probably better than the original AWOL that I reviewed.
And I heard that 3D was very good on the original AWOL too.
Yeah.
So
I think the new one's brighter, so it should be even better. I know the Valerion's 3D was broken when I reviewed it, but they did send out an email a week ago that they were going to add it.
Transformer movie that he's saying is in IMAX 3D. Is that the cartoon version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Transformers 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Did you guys see that yet?
I was gonna watch it until I saw your review.
It's a good movie.
It's on my
It's a good movie.
Kaleidoscape, by the way. But by the way, I need to thank you for making me spend, Shane, a tremendous amount of money, because you're always bringing these new things to the forefront. Definitely the pioneer for the Zapiti. You know, so you brought the
Listen.
Zapiti, made me buy that. I know you don't want to take credit for it because it's gone out of business.
Yeah, no. Everybody got burned on that deal.
But no, I mean, not your fault. Businesses go in and out of business all the time, right? So, I mean, and then obviously you brought Kaleidoscape to the forefront, so I had to get one of those too. You know, but I did buy.
So if you buy from Shane, it gets discontinued. The motors break. What else?
Oh man, don't even go there, man.
I'm hearing a lot of
Yes.
stuff going on here.
You want the Kaleidoscape mob to come after us?
You got see Shane, that's always that's my go-to, because you said you want hate comments, right? To gain your I always mention the Kaleidoscape so that I can get the audience going, right?
Oh, I know. Well, see, these guys aren't abiding by the rule. Anytime you say the word
You're
K
supposed
word,
to
you're
drink.
supposed to drink. Yeah. That's a lot.
No, so
Well, the question is, how did you become a dealer? What's up with that? Were you just
So-
like one day, I'm going to be a dealer?
So, I've owned several businesses. I've been in sales for probably 26, 27 years of my life. So, started getting into the hobby, and I said, you know what? I think I want to, be a dealer. So my idea from the very beginning was to set up my room. Unfortunately, it's taken me 3 years to get my room set up. But I wanted to set up my room, and I want to use it as a showroom, right? So I've mentioned that several times, and there's a lot of people that have kind of ran with my idea, but why I've sat in the background, waiting for the stuff to, come to fruition. But I do have an update. I had 4 people in my room today doing mudding. So all the first layer of mud's on, all the corner beads are on. So I actually got a group to come here and do it for a decent price, that they didn't charge me the Parkland, Florida tax as soon as they come through the gate. So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to picking out paint colors and stuff very soon. I think the drywall will be done on Monday. But yeah, no, as far as the dealer stuff, I said, hey, I want to use this as a showroom. Like I said, I've owned several businesses throughout my lifetime, and just want to try to give back to the community, right? Try to take care of the community is what I'm saying in a roundabout way.
That's cool.
Okay.
Now Miguel's on your timeline. Apparently, he actually had the power company was working on lines apparently, and it smoked his receiver.
Oh goodness!
Wow.
So he's on the Don timeline. Like it might be a while before he starts working on his theater. Yeah.
You
Well,
gotta put Ike's comment up there.
I've got marching orders. My wife was asking me, can I try to get at least stuff in the theater by Thanksgiving? So if I can get paint and stuff, I may not have treatments and everything else like that, but I'm trying to get that done quickly. And no, Ike, it's not going to take me. I mean, I'm painting the back either a dark blue or a black, and then I'll add some splash of color for the fabric.
It's gonna take him
wall and
6
stuff
weeks
like
to
that.
decide on what tone.
What color will be the splash of colors?
It's like I didn't know there were so many tones of black. Oh my god! Limousine, infinite, sky. What?
Got to stick with the old Sherwin-Williams black, right? What's it called? The one that everybody uses.
Yeah, that thing doesn't work, man.
Go ahead,
What's
man.
that?
Now
I
they
spent
have
money on it.
no.
What's it
As a
called
real
again?
baller, you got to go with that new stuff. That's like a, I don't know. It's some paint that's darker than dark. Like
Oh yeah, it's expensive. It's at
yeah.
it's Vanta Black.
yeah,
Vanta Black,
that's it.
yep.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That
one
thing
of
is
the
not
tech
cheap,
channels
man.
that I watch.
Yeah.
I heard it like peels off. If you touch it, it'll like come off the wall.
Yes, it
Yeah.
will. It's almost like a chalk. Almost.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
boy.
how it works. And
Is it going to be as dark as like a velvet or something?
yes,
darker.
darker than velvet.
Darker
Like,
than that.
They
Yeah.
actually,
Oh, wow.
one of the channels, the science channels or whatever that Action Lab, I think, they painted the car with that, and people were walking up to it like, "What the hell? It's like a black hole, and this is a car," and they were just
Wait.
like, "What in the world?" Like it looks unreal.
Gal says it's 902.
1 liter of that thing is $270.
Yeah.
1 liter.
1
Wow.
liter. Holy cow.
Liter. Yeah.
6 liter is $1,350.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I love my home theater, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And then
I'll throw velvet up on the walls before I do
I'm
that.
sure you're not putting that on with a Walmart roller. You know what I mean? You're not like,
I know,
hey,
right?
got $1,000 for a
Don't
pint
drip
of
any.
paint.
No, I know you're not using a sprayer. You know you lose
Yeah.
about 30% of your paint when you use a sprayer.
Oh God. I used the sprayer in one wall in my room, and I was just like, it was like one of those Wagner ones. It was like $100.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just like the off spray is just so much, and I was just
That's
like,
what I
covered.
mean.
I was all dusty when I came out of there.
It's really cool for the prep work, but it's so nice to spray because everything's perfectly even.
Oh, It's
It's as
fast.
good as the finish. Whatever
Yeah.
the finish was, it's immaculate. Versus
And it's
rolling,
fast.
yeah,
But like you said, the prep work, taping
prep
everything
takes
off,
10 times longer.
cleaning out the sprayer.
I
and
sprayed the
losing
whole
half of your
outside of my
paint.
house, and and then it's a pain. It's a pain, but and then I rolled my barcade. When I did my barcade, I rolled and hand cut all the stuff. I was like, I'm not spraying in here. That's too much prep work.
So Fred says to put curtains around everywhere instead of just
Yeah, that's what I did, man. I put
tension
velvet
rod,
curtains
curtain rods
everywhere, man. You
So
could automate it too. When the movie's over, all the curtains just closes. There goes the movie.
What are you gonna do? Fabric mate, Don?
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw last week's show, but Benny did a tour on here, and my goal was always to have like a foot reveal on the top and a foot reveal on the bottom, so that'll be the dark colors on the back. I don't want a totally blacked out theater. The first 5 or 6 feet are going to be velvet or the black felt, and across the whole front wall be black. But I do want some color in the room, so I got to try to decide what I'm gonna. Basically, I think I'm just gonna build a big rectangle, and then put LEDs and stuff inside the rectangle, in a pattern, and also my diffusion and my absorption, and then cover it with different colors of the fabric mate. So yeah, that's the plan. But there will be a reveal on the top and on the bottom. I don't want the panels to be floor to ceiling for fabric. So I'm still up in there. I don't know. I mean, there's a couple designs that I like that I've seen. So that part I'm still not 100% sure on. So that, like they say, it may take me a little bit of time to decide on that. On what I want.
Apple remote disappear again there, Ike?
No. Kids, man.
What you got there, Chris? What you got on your wrist?
Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. Sorry, Chuck. It's Chris.
Oh, that's the Submariner.
Oh, look at that. We're bros.
All
Chuck-
right.
Chuck's a watch guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chuck
I'm a
is
watch.
big
I'm a watch guy.
Which
Yeah,
which
yeah.
reference?
Huh?
Which one is that one? Which model is
This
that
is
one?
one of
Or
the
reference
old,
is that?
this is the older one. It's still 6 digits. It's the 116.
Oh, it's a date.
Oh yeah. The date.
Okay, I got the 114. So I got the no date. You got the date.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I didn't
Chuck's-
get the newer one with the newer movement. With the
Don't
longer
get Chuck
power
started on
response.
these watches. He'll be
I
here all
know,
day
man.
talking about them watches.
Chuck got them for days, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
he's got plenty of watches.
Yeah, Shane
Hence
got
the
both.
hence the
that's
reason
his
why I
everyday one.
Cartier. I think he got a what do you call it, Milgauss. I don't know if he has the
Explorer.
the
Explorer
Tudor.
2.
Huh?
The Tudor, yeah.
Yep.
The
I know he
Tudor,
got quite
that.
a few.
Yeah.
I got
It's,
one. I got the Tudor with the smiley face.
Freaking
Poor
Josh.
Josh.
Oh, the Ranger. The Ranger.
No,
Did you
it's
buy it,
Black
like, from
Bay, but it's
Timu,
the
Josh?
original
Is that
one
what you
before they
bought?
put the
Oh.
automatic movement.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
TikTok.
that's a nice.
And the black one was only in production for like 5 months,
Hmm.
and then they went to the in-house.
I should have a lefty. Oh, sorry, a GMT Sprite. Hopefully by the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
you
I
know,
got
the
the- I
one that
got
goes
the-
on the. That's.
I got the root beer and the Batman GMTs.
Oh, yes, this guy. Yeah, well, I got offered a Batman. I was like, you know what? Give me the other one. I want the other one. On the other hand,
Yeah.
give me the Sprite. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
cool.
one I'm waiting on now.
Yeah, this
like-
is why
I can
that's
double
why I
wrist.
told him about Wisdom Audio.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense. That makes sense now. Why wouldn't you just go for Wisdom? Just cut to the line.
I
get
didn't
the back.
know. I didn't know much about Wisdom. I have to look them up.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
line
they have
arrays
some
are
really
just-
good line arrays. I think Michael did a tour of their Atlanta HQ setup. Yeah, they're way above my imaginations. Not even above my budget, but just above my imaginations, man. But they look good.
So
Check
Shane, I'm
this out.
thinking something like this.
That looks all fabric though. Pretty sure that is.
Yeah, it is. It's got the reveal on the bottom still, but yeah, that's something I was thinking about. Let me go back over here to my bill.
Is that lighting all the way around?
Yeah,
That's
Man.
a
Yeah,
lot of
that's what
lighting.
he wants to do.
Are you gonna do that? Or are you
Yeah.
paying someone to do that?
no, I'm gonna do. I mean, it's not if you do the fabric meat. I know the fabric.
Oh yeah, well, the way
Just, I-
Shane did it was so intelligent, man. That's probably
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
like
the
this
easiest
too.
way.
That's why we.
I know.
moved him
I know
to
it's not
the
your typical theater that you would want to do, but let's see here. There's another.
Yeah, that
picture
looks
in here.
nice.
That's the color of my seats. So that I have a row of 4 of those.
Creamy.
Yeah.
Now yours are more like that, or more theater seat, or yours
So
couch.
they were exactly that seat, but only
Oh.
a row of 4. I must have didn't catch the joke.
Yeah, we'll just put in an expected date for the home theater tour, the Don's home theater tour.
Yeah.
So this is
I'm
the
in
pattern
sync.
I'm looking to do on the walls with like LED.
Oh
Something
gosh,
like
good
that.
luck. You gonna do that yourself?
man.
That's crazy, man.
good luck with that.
It's gonna be tough.
Because you basically
I know.
have to. You have to
Yeah,
design
he wants to
the
do. He
fabric.
wants to do this. Yet it took him a year to do drywall. It's like drywall's the easiest part, bro.
He's just looking
Like-
for a reason
like,
not to
that's the
complete this
hard part.
theater, man.
It didn't take me a year to do the drywall. I only can work on it 1 day a week. So
Okay. Well, you're gonna get like what, a quarter of a cut line done a month on that
No,
pattern.
he's gonna finish it, but he'll be moving the next day.
no, Chuck said he's gonna come down and help me. He already told me the other day he's coming down to help.
That's right.
The housing market would have crashed, and you could get a 6-bedroom mansion for like $200,000.
Oh,
Then you
I
be moving.
definitely got to make it up there. I already told my
So-
wife I'm going up there.
Nice.
Yep.
oh yeah. Chuck had finished that a whole room in a day.
No, that was when I
It'd be
was
like,
once you get past 60, you do slow down.
Fair. Okay, fair.
I'm mid 60s now.
You got
So what's your impression of the 17-inch sub, Mr.
Yep,
Shane?
I was just about to ask. Put that up on
Oh,
the screen.
I've only plugged it into my living room. I haven't plugged it into the theater yet. I mean, they're in here, but I haven't plugged them in yet, though. They sound good as far as just one on my Sony receiver sounded pretty good. You know.
You had the PB16s before, correct?
Yeah. Those are still good. They just they chuffed. They chuffed a lot,
Being
So
part
Well,
of
when you
I had a
play
problem with
Edge
that.
tomorrow at 120 decibels, I wonder why.
But I think that was the only sub. Well, that was the only sub I've gotten to chuff with Edge of Tomorrow. The Power Sound Audio. I didn't even get to like 10 on the volume control before I thought that was going to just blow up. That was a sealed sub. I got so much crap for that. But yeah, just the PB was the only sub that I've ever gotten to chuff.
Huh. That's weird. So
It's funny because they didn't get mad at me or nothing. They just said, "Oh, okay, we saw the review. Thank you." They were just like, "Thanks." I was like, "All right." So I still work. Obviously, I still work with them. So they're cool about it. I'm curious if the 17 chuffs or not. I didn't want to go down that route, so I went with the sealed instead. So, but so far so good. It sounds pretty taut for a 17-inch sub. So far so good.
Yeah.
It's a good looking sub.
So you haven't done any measurements or anything like that on it yet?
Dude, I haven't done anything in like a month. Just nothing. I've been lazy for the past month.
That's good though. I mean, you gotta have some time. My mother-in-law told me today. She basically lives with us. She's like, I didn't do nothing all day. I'm like, that's a good thing. My mother-in-law is from Brazil, so
Okay.
she's your typical Latin American woman. She just does not sit down what at all the whole entire day. And she's like, I didn't do nothing today. I'm like, that's good. You got to take some time and rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing with these subs, I feel like there's so many people that are going to be like, for $2,400, I can get JTR this number, whatever it is, and it'll blow it away. Like, I know that happens every subwoofer review. JTR always comes up in every subwoofer review. It drives me insane.
You haven't reviewed any of those subwoofers, have you?
What's that?
The JTRs?
Oh, JTR? No, I don't have to. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of cool looking subwoofers out there. I'd rather do.
I hear you.
Are you getting the RBH subwoofers?
Well, he's got, what do you got, the 21?
He has a custom
Oh,
made
yeah,
one,
that's right.
right?
You got the 21. Yeah.
He's got the one that we blew up at Mwave.
Oh.
I know he was getting one that he was saying he wanted to get in, he was going to get it up the stairs.
Caught on fire. Yeah, that's why we need the fire extinguisher. Yeah. What about Arendal subwoofers? Did you?
Dude, I reviewed the biggest one a couple of years now, 3 years ago, and
Oh, that's job.
I wasn't. I just didn't. It just never really sounded good in my room.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Just looking at them, I was like, man, those look like. I mean, you might as well just buy a shoe sub. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I've
not heard them, so I have no clue.
I had the KEF KF92, I think it was the model number at the time. At the same time, I had the Arendals, and the sound quality and the extension on the 2 KEF, the dual 9s, went deeper and lower. Not SPL wise, but it just sounded. It dug deeper than the Arendals. It sounded better than the Arendals.
Tower. You're talking the tower speakers. What about the actual subwoofer? They have subwoofers too. The Arendals.
No, I'm talking about the KEF little square.
Oh, the
subwoofer.
little square. Oh, okay.
Versus the Arendal's flagship subwoofer. The KEF.
Oh, wow.
The KEF just kind of blew them away. So
wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I was very
remember
surprised about that.
you were giving a lot of praise to that calf subwoofer.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the new ones here now. So I've been using that for the past month or two. Those things, I love those subwoofers, man. For the size, they're like
have a lot of
they're like the
active.
best.
Are those active DSP control on those? Like, or
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
What's going on, Giles? Thanks
up,
for joining,
Giles?
sir.
I just had to come in to celebrate this whole StreamYard thing you got going on. I don't know when you made the swap.
I know, right?
But
I'm telling you, I would like to.
there's a
Oh, hey,
huge
everything
shout
worked
out.
the first time I joined. That's amazing. we've been poking the bear on that one. I was like, hey, yeah, much better.
Look, we had to do it on the year anniversary of our show. So
Is this
thank-
the
there
first
you
night?
go.
With
this is the
StreamYard?
first
night,
night.
yeah.
Yeah,
StreamYard.
first time using StreamYard.
They knew
I was
Shane
wondering
was
why
coming
things
on.
were
That's
going
why.
so well.
It was because Shane was here. That's all.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm not coming on unless you guys get StreamYard," and we were like, okay, whatever.
I know he texted me. He's like, "Did they get StreamYard?" I'm like, "I don't know." No. He's like, "I'm not going on. I'm not doing this." No, I'm just just trying to keep my head above water. Yesterday was New Comic Book Day, and I love comic books, so I'm still trying to sort through that stuff. I have too many hobbies. Too many hobbies.
And expensive ones too, huh?
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Comics are not cheap.
No, dude. I got this stuff. I don't have time to read them. I buy more than I can read. Hope my wife's not listening because she always bugs me. She's like, "Don't buy them if you don't read them." Like the pictures are pretty. I'm a simple man. I just want to look. I need my picture books.
Yeah, I've never read a Playboy, so it's okay. You can buy a magazine.
Right on. I knew you were going there.
Saying,
Like, man, he just walked into that one.
Yeah, no, we're trying out the StreamYard just to see how it works. We're also going to look at this one change unit using two emux. So we're gonna check that out too. But
That's cool.
yeah, it was time. I think time to move on. StreamYard just raised their prices, so it was.
Oh my God, they did.
They doubled them.
They went
So-
way, way high, man. They're crazy.
Everyone's doing.
I don't know
it.
what I'm going to do about it. I like StreamYard, but I don't know if I like it that much.
Yeah. You could try
It's
Ecamm.
insane.
Which one?
Try Ecamm. and
Oh
then
gosh,
decide.
no. I'll pay 4 times for the StreamYard before no way.
Yeah.
I don't know. For new toys, I'm still working on the Onkyo RZ30. I think it's pretty cool. I like it. I got it up in the living room right now, and I'm using on just a 2.1 system, and it's really nice up there. I got that Aperion Audio 1000x3 front stage amplifier. I'm playing with that guy, and it's an amplifier. It amplifies. Sounds all right. Amplifier.
Is that what those do? Oh,
Those are the hardest for me to review because I'm like, this sounds pretty good. Get loud. I don't know, because I'm not that guy that sits down and says, let me make the charts and measure the total harmonic distortion at 1% and 0.1. I'm not that dude. So, and then Shane, yeah, I'm working on that PX3 Pro review. I've got to film it still, but I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on there about it.
Yeah, I shot it all. I just haven't cut it. I just didn't do my voiceover. I just got to do the voiceover, and it's done. It's just like 95% done.
That's cool.
So far, I like it. I really like it. Yeah, it's better than the last version. It's like way better than the last version.
Oh, then I agree with that. It just I don't know, the way that they market segment place it is, they're like, oh, it's made for Xbox and it's it's perfect for gaming. And the black level's all right.
Yeah. They're
nice.
all the same. All these black levels are the same.
Yeah.
The Valerian's good though. The Valerian.
I don't want to get started on
black
that one
levels.
because I think the Valerian is awesome for the market segment. I mean, I think it's like what you said for $1,300, dude.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. I mean, if I was a kid and I could get a Valerian for $1,300 when I was 21 years old, I would go absolutely nuts with that thing. It would be amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I had that for a while, and I just didn't want to do it because it was $1,300. So like everybody did theirs, and I was like, I think I have to do it now. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this actually is not bad for $1,300.
What I'm really happy about, and I'm excited about from that company, obviously there's AWOL Vision, and that's their UST, and then they have Valerion, which is the long throw, not high end projector range, but lifestyle products. But they also have AWOL.
Oh yeah.
LL, the LED stuff. So I'm really excited about that.
I did ask them about that.
Yeah, I asked him about that too, and I didn't get any good answers yet. When it was over, yeah, come on.
They
$900,000 or something.
Yeah, they're like, thank you for your interest. We'll put you on the list. I was like, at least I'm on the list.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't even made it onto the list yet. I just I was talking to the projector folks, and he's all like, "Oh, that's not really my area, but I'll forward it over to the people." So,
yeah, I went to my distributor that I pick up a lot of our equipment through Wave Electronics, and I mean they carry tons and tons of brands, and they actually had a video wall company in there just talking to different dealers and stuff like that. So
nice.
I threw my name in the hat, just to see what we can do. I
think there's a lot of money to be made in that market.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's an upcoming market. It was either that or medical marijuana that I was thinking about getting into. So.
Well, that would have been better for sure, no doubt. Much bigger market.
I'm glad he didn't say the other stuff. That takes you across the border on the speedboats at the Florida Keys.
Florida Keys. How many keys?
Look, I live about a mile from the Everglades. I can just drive out in a boat and pick it up.
Business plan sounds awesome.
No, yeah. So no, seriously, at Wave Electronics, they had someone there just showing a new brand of their video walls. It looked pretty interesting.
Do you remember the name by any chance?
I do not off the top of my head. I have a brochure out on my counter in my dining room there, but I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It's a fairly new company. I can say that they had probably had like maybe 20 panels set up, so it was maybe like the size of like a 42 or 43-inch TV, so it
they had a little guy going.
Yeah, so it didn't seem to be very hot, which impressed me, because I know a lot of those video walls, they can get pretty hot. So
yeah, you just use it as a tanning bed.
So Shane, Giles, any of you guys reviewing the new JVCs?
Nah, that's not really my bag.
I have the 7 and the 800, so that'll be coming sometime in the near future.
Which projector are you running now, Shane?
I still got the 8.
The NZ8?
Yeah. Anybody interested in buying an NZ8, I'll give you a good email. Email is down below. Okay, that's my sales pitch for the NZ8.
Yeah, I'm probably eventually once I get everything set up, I'll probably wind up looking to go to the what's that, the N9 900. I'll probably look to go to that. So, and of course, I'll have a dealer price on my NZ8 at that time.
So now I'm gonna have to.
The NZ8 probably has only 50 hours on it.
No, it don't even have 50 hours. It's only got like
NZ8 doesn't
even
have
right
50.
Cheap. Who's gonna sell their NZ8 cheaper to me?
You got to become a Patreon of Shane's to get his though.
And Don's NZ8 probably has less than 10 hours on it.
It's probably got about 5 right now.
Wow.
Oh, it actually has an hour on it.
Yeah, no. When I first got it, I was doing some comparisons because I actually had Shane's old NX7 in house, and then I bought the NZ8. So I was doing some comparisons between the two. So,
which Lingdorf do you?
MP60. So the big one.
Oh, that's the best one, right?
Yeah, that's the best one. I know. I was listening to Chana the other day, and he said he's actually got one in for review. That'll be the first one that I've seen for a review. Like a review unit since I bought mine. So
yeah, that was a while
What's the
ago.
depth of
Right?
that one?
yeah. I've had it for probably 2.5 years now. So just I played
Is
around
that,
with the UI and everything else like that. So
is that upgradable?
unfortunately, no. I it's not like the modular type of,
Is it their own design, or is it a rebadge or something like that?
no, it's their design.
It's their stuff.
Yeah, using Room Perfect.
Right
Yeah.
now.
So which Macintosh actually has now. Macintosh uses Room Perfect.
So they actually have the HDMI 2.1 version, right, of the 60. Is that a brand new nut box, or you could do an upgrade on it?
You can. I can do an upgrade on that.
Okay.
Last I checked, it was about $2,000 to do it.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know that I'm gonna do it because I'm thinking of upgrading the what is that, the Lumigen to the 2.1 and just use that as my switcher instead.
What's how big is your room gonna be?
So my room is 23.5 deep by 18 wide. Once I put I built the false wall. I kind of built the room with inside of a room, so it went, and then I have a front false wall. So the actual dimensions, useful dimensions, will be 21.5 deep by 17, maybe 16.5 wide.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
So
You said it was would you say it was 20 wide minus the false walls?
it was 18. So it was 21,
18.
23.5 deep. So front to back 23.5, and then I put a false wall 2 foot off of the front wall to be able to put the speakers behind subwoofers speakers.
Yeah, I was after I went to the Macintosh demo room. Theirs was 27 wide, and then I came home to mine. I was like, this is like Bush League here. What's going on in my place?
Yeah, I saw your video for that.
It was so cool because you could like run from one side to the other, and mine I could take 5 steps and I'm at the other side of the room. So I was just like, man, I just need to expand this room like another 10 feet, and I think I'll be satisfied.
The true definition of wides, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I thought about I got a wood shop, a detached garage.
Yeah.
It's perfect size. I've been looking at it the other day. It's 24 wide by 40 deep.
Oh,
Wow.
You need a lot of speakers to fill that thing.
Ceilings.
Yeah.
You're gonna need 18 RBHs.
Yeah. The
You're gonna
8010
need
ain't
2
gonna
of
cut
those
it.
21s that Shane's got.
Yeah. I tell you, if I ever got rid of my shop, that's what I would do. Switch it over.
I know
wish I
somebody.
You can just move.
Anything.
You can move the content of the shop in where you are now and move.
Yeah.
You might not leave too long after that with the wife's reaction, but
yeah,
at least you tried.
I got the detached garage for the shop because my wife wanted me out of the garage connected to the house. She would come home. She goes, "Why are you working with the doors open?" I'm like, "I'm not working with." She says, "All the dust is in the house." It's like, as soon as you open the door, it just sucks the dust right inside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that. Well, I mean, besides like $100,000 dust extractions.
So Shane, you can answer this question. You've had both in your room.
I've actually got some new Procellas coming in, I think next month. What's it I like better? It's a tough one. I feel like the Procella sounds like, I know a lot of people say, listen, if a good speaker, you can use it for music and movies. There's no such thing as a movie speaker or a theater speaker. I say that's false. The Procella very clearly sounds like a commercial sounding speaker. I would say the Ascendo's kind of in between both. I think if you wanted a more accurate sounding, if you wanted to sound like a movie theater, I would probably go with the Procella. But like I said earlier, you know, the detail and the directness, I would go with the Ascendo. Subjective thing for you to design on your own, though.
Yeah, the Procellas give you a little bit of flexibility, right? Because of the can't you pair them with different subwoofers and stuff like that too?
Yeah, so you can jump them with like their 10-inch woofers, or I think they got a 15-inch. So it would be like the 6.5, and then below it you would put, you know, an on-wall sub or an on-wall woofer, as they say, make it a full range speaker.
Giles, you had any experience with either one of those?
I've not had them in my place before, but you know, I think Shane's pretty right on with them. You know, the Procella, I don't know that I've ever heard of them being used in any other application than, you know, just straight hardcore multi-channel kind of stuff. Maybe, I don't know. They are very, seems to be purpose built. You know, and
so what's the sound difference that we're talking about? Like, if it's like it sounds like a theater versus it sounds like music.
Do you know when you go to the theater? You know, if you're watching a movie in your house, you watch a movie in the theater. The theater just doesn't quite have that same detail. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just a little nuance isn't there. It's a little.
The way the voices sound to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's a little shouty sounding. Kind of.
Yeah. Well, that
unfair
that
to say, but.
And I'm wondering if that comes from, like, I have been to theaters where the volume is way too loud, and no matter how good your hearing is, if you know, the more you can only perceive so much information, and the louder it is, the less detail your brain can derive, because you're like, oh god, it's like, that's so loud, you know.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh wow, wow, I heard that bee fly across the screen. If you have, you know, 110 dB of, you know, rain coming down, you're not going to hear a bumblebee fly across this, you know, the screen, except for the fact that you have that the visual acuity to, you know, to tell you. Otherwise, you would just be like, wow, oh god, that's painful. I don't know what's happening here. But maybe that's what it is that people are describing, because I guess I don't understand the difference. But I do, like, to me, if someone says, oh, it sounds like a theater, it's like, oh, it's more of a horn, not quite, maybe not as much vertical dispersion, or maybe more vertical dispersion versus like a music speaker. But I don't know. To me, I'm still of, hey, if a speaker reproduces a sound, it should be able to reproduce whether it's music. A speaker does not know what is playing. That is factual. It doesn't know what sounds are being produced. So why would one speaker be better for multi-channel versus non-multi-channel, unless we start talking about phase?
I didn't say one was a better theater speaker over the other. I said one sounds more like.
Fair enough.
Sounds more like
yeah. But if you say that, one would perceive that you're saying better. That's just when someone says, this sounds more like a theater speaker. This sounds more like a musical speaker. If you're into 2-channel, you're like, oh, well, I want the one that sounds more like not a theater speaker, because that's what I enjoy the most, whether or not it's better or not. But
there you go. Like most of the theaters I've been to, they just kind of make sound. Really for any detail. It's like there. I'm not blown away. Like I don't really hear people whispering in the background or anything like that. I just know the sound there. There's just not enough detail. I kind of get that sensation with a Procella. That's not a knock on Procella. It just reminds me so much more of me being at the theater.
Yeah, fair enough. It's kind of like, being at a concert, right? Being at a live concert, it's like it's loud, you're enjoying it better. But if you're actually listening to the music recorded at home, you're just listening to the music, and you're listening to all the details of the instruments. Where if you're actually at the concert, you're more like, or even if it's an orchestra, right? Like an orchestra, you're not. You're listening to the interaction. You're actually listening to the art of people playing their instrument, whether no matter what, even third chair violin. You're just like, wow, it's like, damn, it's amazing, because you're all experts if you're up there, whether you're first, second, or third chair. It's like, dude, these are the best of the best people playing live instruments. Where if you're listening to a recording, they might have done 15 takes to get that one, to get that one
a little DSP,
that one sound. Yeah, that one little track. It's still, it obviously enjoyable listening to the music, because it's obviously music, movies, or whatever, reminding you or bringing you into whatever, memory or experience that you had, and that's what it's all about, just enjoying all of it. But
however, Procella has a version 2, which it does have more detail than the version 1, which sounds does sound a little bit more like a hi-fi speaker would sound. So I will say that.
So Reed says, why we're not showing policing some love in the discussion? I mean,
it wasn't in the question.
Yeah, it wasn't in the question, but also I think the general consensus is that policings are really good, but they're nowhere close to kind of budget friendly. And
so per listen, here's one thing that really bothers me. Everybody's always like measurements. It's got to measure flat. It's got to measure flat to be a great sounding speaker. The per listens are about as flat as you can get. It's like so super flat. Also, maybe it's boring as sounding speakers. Usually, if your speakers are flat, like I like a bright speaker. I like something with a little bit of tilt upwards. Maybe a little bit of tilt on the bottom end as well. Maybe almost like the V shape that a lot of people like. Yeah.
I like a roll off on around 16K. Yeah. I like a complete roll off. Like even whenever I had clip speakers, I EQ'd them. It's easy to EQ the high end on that. So it's just like I just rolled it off, and yeah, sounds fine to me. I don't have those anymore.
I don't even know if I can hear 16K anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, I do. That's the problem. I do, but man, it just like even whenever I was listening to the RBH setup, I was like, man, these sound bright to me, but they're super neutral. But I'm like,
that's what DSP is for right there now.
Yeah. But I listened to the Ascendo room, and I was like, oh man, this is like, I don't know if someone just knew how to EQ better or whatever, which could be. But I was like, dude, this is way, way better. I hear I can tell where things are supposed to be, and that was my favorite room out of that Mwave. I was like, this would be the room that I would have.
Did you coaxes or the Black Swans?
I forget which one. We had the coax, but I listened to the Black Swans in Ryan's room, but he did not have it set up yet and fully dialed in. He actually just announced that he did.
Do you think it's because the Ascendo room was so much smaller than those other rooms? Because that was the problem I was having when I listened to RBH and JTR, and first of all, like Shane was saying, they play everything so loud, but at the same time, those rooms were almost 3 times the size as the Ascendo room.
Well, but the space wasn't though. They had the room was larger on some of them, right? So like, but they had it split to where they had one section, and then the actual theater setup was you were sitting in this circle. So technically, it should be less, because the reason you would get more fatigue from higher ends is it's a smaller room with more reflections with improper treatment. Treatment was the same in all of them, essentially. And a larger room would actually have less, because your back wall's way back there. So automatically your decay time is going to be.
Didn't they have that all curtained off though? I thought it was all curtained off. And
Yeah,
then,
but what do you think?
right?
and then your speakers are all going to be placed closer to you, all the way around you, because they utilize such a small space.
Which you would think that would make it sound even harsher, right? I mean, that's unless you're just, again, and it could be, yeah, you're right. It could be that, hey, they're just cranking this up so loud for no reason, just because they think they have to.
What's going on, Haterade? Thanks for joining. Haterade says the Ascendo.
See,
at
he
Mwave
didn't
is
like
not that
it.
impressive.
He didn't like it because he likes car audio bass. That's what I think.
No, but that was
he's
but
like,
that was
I
the
want
general.
140 dB. I want
No, but that was the
180
general
dB of
consensus,
bass.
right, at Mwave, that we expected more from 16 subwoofers in that room.
Well, and to that, I would ask, well, did you listen to that exact same track on a decent pair of headphones to know exactly what it's supposed to sound like? Just because you're getting tactile, you're getting all this, you're getting all this other interaction.
No, but we've listened to this. We've
accurate.
listened to these demos like a million times, right? I almost hate. I literally now
who's
I almost
watched those
hate all of them
demos
now.
on headphones? They're watching it. They're always listening. Everyone listens to it. They want the experience, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? You want I want the Crosons. I want to, get, I want to feel like I'm getting knocked around. Is that?
Haterade says I'm definitely not a car audio guy.
Think about it this way, right? I wouldn't consider myself or Jordan like just going there and expecting heaven and earth, right? I think we're more critical listeners. When you tell me you have 16 subwoofers in that space, I think, yes, I also was expecting a certain level, let's just say numbers, right? To make
Well, and that could just be comparison, right? Like if everybody literally did if everybody flattened out all of their systems, like true, at 85 dB, this is a flat line. There's not even a rise in the bass, because I had a little, I had a tool that measured C, L max.
Jordan
C
is still
max.
angry at the whole Angry Bird deal. Yeah,
yeah. I like him. He's a cool dude, man. He's one of the coolest dudes.
Yeah, I saw the demo and I was like, "What is going on here?"
I think that room was set up more just to show off the projector, to be honest with you.
Down
Because
the subwoofers, right?
And that was one of my favorite rooms. Because they weren't trying to just blow your socks off with volume and SPL.
Mm-hmm. I like the room. They had the they didn't have their top of the line stuff, in that room. It was but for Ascendo it was budget friendly stuff, right? But the projector, I think the projector was the showcase of that room, because Ike and I even sat next to each other, and when they played Godzilla -1 and that bright light came across the screen, all I seen Ike do was he was like this. So that's how bright that projector was in that room.
Wow.
So
yeah,
I think that was the was that the Christie or was that the Barco? I think it was the Barco. I'd have to go back in my pictures and look and see which one it was.
A Barco in that room.
Yeah, I'd have to go back.
Let's get into the dirt. So is Mwave canceled now? Is it dead? What I mean,
so I don't.
I heard there was all kinds of issues, but
I don't think it's dead. I think all in all, after everything, I think Mwave, and I even think the name, and I could be wrong. You have to ask Ryan if he's going to even keep that. Mwave is still a thing. I don't know if it's going to be called Mwave. I think it may still be. I think it's still allowed when it was all said and done.
Well, didn't the M stand for Michael? Michael Wave?
No,
No, just
Mid-Atlantic.
Midwest.
Mid-Atlantic.
Mid-Atlantic.
It was Midwest.
And Shane knows that. Shane is
Midwest.
It's Michael's Wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Midwest AV experience.
Yes.
I think what they want to do is go back to what the first year was like. You know, the first year was small. They did a lot of demo type stuff as far as comparing one speaker to another, comparing one projector to another,
true comparison,
as opposed to just having these huge theaters set up where it was everybody showing how much they can do. You know, they want to simplify it a little more, like it was the first.
Because if you're just comparing how much you can do, JTR will always steal the show. That is amphitheater, friggin'. You know, it's like, well, yeah, of course, can do like probably 140 dB without even trying in here. But who's listening to that? I mean,
no, it's crazy.
Not that that's a bad thing. You know, hey,
Scott Newbie.
Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Whenever I was in car audio, I left because the year after I won amateur, pro level hit 180 dB in the car. I was like, oh shit, like, dude, I'm not that into this. That's insane. 180 dB.
Have you ever watched Steve Mead's channel?
I'm not horrible with names.
I've not even heard of Steve Mead before.
He's got 233s. He's an audio guy. He's like a super high-end audio guy. Not super high-end,
remember that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, these 233s in his custom box. I think he put him in his car, his Suburban or something like that at one point in time too.
Jesus,
yeah.
In the car. Hey, I had dual 15s in a Charger, so you know.
So to Chuck's point here, we're looking at the map of the Kansas City Convention Center. So the Ascendo room was the 212. So it was a smaller room. They did have that was the Christie in that room.
Yeah.
So it was Storm Audio, Christie, and Seymour Excellence with a Mad VR. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you what, that projector was extremely, extremely bright.
But small compared to what? That is
all the other rooms that had the theaters in them.
Yeah. But,
so this was the Grimani room back here, 214, and then RBH was in 206. What was it? Cinemike was in this room, and I think JTR was in 204. Yeah. Right? Yeah, Cinemike was 205.
See, I thought the original intent of the show was like the enthusiast, somewhat affordable type of show, type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of this stuff, like, is really kind of, the end of the line type of product.
They had Per Listen. Per Listen was in one of these rooms, wasn't it?
No, not last year. They might have been the year before.
That's right. I'm getting the years.
Now they had SVS was in their room, and they usually do a more budget friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 208 had SVS. I tell you what, I think they had like a $6,000 theater set up, not this year, but the year before, and it was impressive. It really was, and when you go to these higher end rooms, and you guys know from going to CD and stuff, Giles, it becomes, once you got them all tuned and to the best of their capability, they all start to sound pretty much the same, at least in my ears and from a lot of other people that I've talked to. Once you got Trinnovs and Storms running the same, and it becomes difficult to separate the speakers. I think they all
you're
blend.
Right. That's just it. If it's accurate, it's going to make the exact same sound, right? That is literally, hey, we're not changing what it's supposed to sound like. But that's not what a lot of these shows will do. They'll crank up the bass another 10 dB because let's face it, people know that hey, it can be a half as good speaker, but got a little more bass. People like, ooh, I like this one. This just
I'd like to go to a show that had 15 different rooms that were all less than $10,000 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like this is the Onkyo room, and this is the Denon room, and this is the Marantz room.
Yeah,
and this is the
that would be
definitive
interesting.
technology room, and this is the
Yep.
I like the big brands, but
Yeah.
I think the one show that I went to, the last Audio Advice Live, the best one I thought was the Def Tech room.
Yeah,
And that was one of the
that's a good
cheapest
show.
rooms.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Wow.
That's a really good
amazing.
show. If you guys haven't been to Audio
Yeah, I
Advice
want to
Live,
go to Audio Advice.
open
I've
to
not
the
been there.
public?
By the way, let me pitch this really quick. Anybody that's watching this that is looking for a pair of Def Tech 9070s, email me. Links down below in this video's description. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Is that open to the public? Audio Advice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
they want
in
to sell you
Carolina,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
drove-
where's
drove
the location
16
of that one?
hours.
I forget what's the
North
location.
Carolina.
North
I drove
Carolina.
16
Yeah, I was
hours
gonna
to
say
go
it
to
was
North
east. It was
Carolina.
east, so I didn't know if it was closer.
Yeah,
to New
see, I can
York.
make that one. I could drive to that.
It's still a good drive from us, Chuck. You're
Is it
3
in
hours
Raleigh?
north of me.
I drove 16 hours from
I think
Texas.
it's
Yeah,
17
not-
hours.
So it's
No,
like
it's not that far. It's only
was
like
30
10 hours.
Mm.
I
Is
drove
it in
9.
Raleigh? Is it in Raleigh or is it in another?
Yeah,
Raleigh.
it's in Raleigh.
in Raleigh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shoot, I should do that, man. I got one of my best friends.
I can get to Atlanta in 7 hours. I should be able to get to North Carolina in another 3 or 4.
From Atlanta? Probably
Yeah, you know
about
what?
5 hours.
Don, I don't know if you went to it or not, or Ike was there. I saw Ike there.
Yep.
Remember that on the last night they had that concert that was in
Yeah.
another.
Mhm.
Yep.
Wasn't that weird? It was like they were giving us a company meeting.
It was a corporate.
I was like, what is
environment.
going on here,
It
man?
felt like work. Yeah.
Well, the
I
show
was like,
is
what is
not
this?
like other shows. It's not a general like a CEDIA where you have all these different companies. It is Audio Advice's show to sell the stuff that Audio Advice sells. It is a big buy our stuff
Mhm.
event.
Yep.
Yeah.
11 hours and 7 minutes from my house.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought it would be. So for me, it's 11. Oh, for me, I'm thinking 10 hours.
You're 3 hours north than me.
Yeah, but you're probably going straight up the east, up 95.
Not if you're riding with me.
Oh, yeah.
I'll swing by and grab you.
Yeah, I would like to go to that one.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Yeah, they take out the whole hotel. How many floors? Was it like 5, 6 floors or something?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 5 floors.
It's a
I couldn't
convention.
even make it to all the rooms they have.
They do it at. I've not been there at that one. Is it a convention center or is it a hotel?
A hotel.
Hotel.
Yeah,
Hotel.
man, they
It's
take
just
their
like
time.
Expona,
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
right? Am I correct with that, Giles? Have you been
Yeah,
to
it's like
Expona?
Expona, but with more multi-channel. A lot more
Right.
multi-channel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
and
take
with
everything,
one
even the
company.
cut yards, everything. They take all the space available, man.
Yeah, I
and
was
it's funny
thinking that I
because
wanted to
they
go
leave-
to that this year. Instead of it depends on what Mwave's doing, right? Like you said, Charles, what's with the elephant in the room? What are they
Yeah.
doing, right? I think they still want to hold a show. I would still love to attend because I like stuff that they're doing there. I mean, they're doing blind tests, for high end speaker cables, to see if you can tell the difference. They're doing room correction, blind tests. So I love the stuff that they're doing. They're doing projector shootouts right in front of you.
TV comparisons, all in the
TV
same room, playing the
comparisons,
same content, and they bring in professional calibrators to, and they're not calibrating it to the nth degree, but they're calibrating it more than any consumer would calibrate it. So it should relatively be the same, So it's
And it's
one year
the
they
most
just,
social of
like,
all the events I've been
One
to.
year they
Like,
took all of the receivers and processors, each whether it was Dirac or Anthem,
Yeah, room correction.
yeah,
shootout.
the auto
Yep.
room correction.
and they were switching it, and seeing which one you think sounded better, back and forth,
Yep.
So I mean, they've done, it's been.
And people pick the hanger, right, as the best speaker.
Best speaker cable. Yeah, speaker cable. You have to see it with your eyes.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to see it with your bias too. Though I spent $3,000 in this. You gotta be the best.
Shane's an Audio Quest guy. Hold on, don't offend Shane.
I didn't call any names. I just said
I love a good expensive speaker cable.
No, he hears the difference. He knows. He's heard it.
I don't think
Giles,
they look better.
Giles, just look right below your screen, right, Giles? You can see what I have there. It's all about cables.
It's just all about cable. I like it. Yeah.
I mean, the coat hanger is a thicker gauge cable. Yeah,
that's true.
It would kind of make sense. It would sound better. Yeah. I mean, some of that Audio Quest stuff is like it's like fucking 22 gauge wrapped in a gigantic jacket. So there's that.
It has the ability to bring more power in than the actual core feed of the power company. Yeah.
I know, right?
It's like,
so we're getting late here. So Shane, are you able to give us a little tour of your home theater here? Tell us what you got going on.
Yeah. Let's see. I got.
Mike's got to go to bed by 12 o'clock. He's got his blanket on and he's ready to sleep already. But I'm good as long as you are.
It's just 10:30, man. I'm not on Eastern.
I'm up because I'm involved. I'm not watching. If I'm watching, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel that way too. Paul, don't say anything. Just move on from that conversation.
I'm not. Hey, I'm refraining, man. I'm refraining.
I've had days when I'm watching you guys, and the next thing you know, I'm waking up. The computer's on something totally different. I'm like, oh man, it's over.
Thanks for telling us we put you to sleep, Chuck. We appreciate that.
Whenever we were doing one of those room shows, I was like, man, I'm bored. Whenever I hear, if I'm bored hearing myself talk, that means it's boring. I'm like, dude, I'm freaking bored right now. Dude. I'm about to fall asleep. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I think Shane, I don't know if you want to join on your tablet. I'm not sure how.
Let's see what we got here.
That way you can
do that. I don't look better.
Walk us around the room.
Is this gonna? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've never did a stream without headphones on before, so it's different. All right, so what do we got here? I'm assuming that this is not, not going to lose connection.
Yeah, need some light too.
This is as bright as this theater gets.
Nice.
As bright as it gets, man.
Man, gosh, I hope you hire a professional cleaner. It's like,
this is what I got going on here. Got all the cables here. I had to bring all this in for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely appreciate it.
I don't go in here. So it's me. Here's my screen. This is.
I guess we can put it on full screen.
I don't know how to do that.
Oops.
Shane, can you act like you're sharing? I don't know how this is gonna work now. Let's see.
Oh,
I'm trying this. Okay, let me try this.
There you go.
Yep, that's
Hey,
it.
look, I figured it out. In one click.
Nice.
Look at that. All right. Full screen. You better go full screen. It's $80 a month.
84 and some change.
It's definitely not spare change.
Dude, I can't get away from that name. Every time somebody leaves a comment or something like, change. I was like, dude, I haven't spare change in how many years now? For like 2 years.
That's why I actually got that question written down to ask you. What made you get away from that name?
I got tired of being spare change.
So now it's Shane
My
Lee.
name's on screen, man. It's Shane.
You probably got tired of hearing people saying you bought all that equipment with just your spare change. How much money you got?
The question is, I was like, yo, am I spending your spare change or my spare change? People get. So these are the RBHs that I got. I believe Giles got some RBHs in too.
Yeah, I got the towers in the center.
So these are the big ones that these has got the 6.5 inch woofers or bass drivers with the AMT. The only thing about these, I know I mentioned it in the review, too much bass, it'll chuff out of the plug. Because I never had a speaker with a bass plug before. So you can hear air will blow out of here. Since it's a sealed speaker, it's got no place to go. So it pushes out through here.
Through the dust cap right there, right?
With,
that's when you custom over
It
a
pushes air out through that, really?
Yeah, because
that's when he ran a full.
I think that the 821. I don't think the 821 has a phase plug, but I believe this helps it.
The 821 doesn't.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have that problem. So that's one thing, because usually I like, when I do the speaker reviews, I like to run them full range just to see what it's like. I heard that air coming out. I was just like, yo, what is this? I think it blew, but it's just air escaping from the phase plug, which is weird, but said before. So we've got 18 of those. That's, it's the first set of surrounds. And then those are the other ones, are all the same. I had some questions like, yo, why didn't you put them behind the fabric wall? If I'm doing reviews, I don't want to have to pull off the panels to swap out speakers. And plus, since I modeled this after the Dolby Cinema, their speakers are also on the walls and visible. So I wanted to feel like you in it, like a commercial miniaturized version. So that's why they're on the walls, so that you can see them. But that's the first set of surrounds there. The second, the middle row is here. And then in the back, that is the back set. And I put this here. So the idea was putting the beam that went across. So if I was going to review other speakers, if I wanted to like put a God speaker in there, I could beam rather than into the drywall.
Right.
Or if I needed to move something over, move the position, I would and move it anywhere along the beam. And these are all like, that's centrally placed in the center of the room, so everything's all measured out. So that was the idea there. So I didn't have to start popping holes everywhere, which made sense to me.
Yeah, especially since you're reviewing a bunch of different speakers. Some of them may not be as big as that. You can change them in and out easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
you see Miguel's question?
No, he's not gonna be able to.
Yeah, so it says, did you angle your side surrounds a bit down towards your listening position due to the limited vertical? I guess that's supposed to be dispersion.
Dispersion like 45 by I think 35, if I'm not mistaken. These are on little swivel brackets here. I think, or 15 or 16. You can swivel them down if you want. The only thing is, at least with these speakers, since the binding post is directly behind it, do the fucking. So they're angleable. You can swivel them. So, and I've got those on all the speakers, also on the back as well, behind the screen.
So to mount those, did you just take a drill and go all savage ass on the speakers to put the mounts on?
So each speaker has a 200 by 200, I think, VESA mount. I believe
it does have a mount built in. Okay, cool. Right.
Yeah.
You can ask them; they'll put anything you want.
Nice.
These are the Salad G's. High quality leather, man.
Actually,
high
like
quality
having a low headrest like that.
Yeah, dude, you got to do it. It makes a huge difference. If you want to like upgrade your theater sound, swap out some low back seats, and you will get more surround information. It makes a huge difference. You don't understand how much of a huge difference it makes until you do it. And then there's a lot of visual space in your room. Your room look bigger. You don't have the backrest taking up a lot of
Yeah.
visual
That was something
space.
else I was thinking about too when I saw your video with those chairs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it kind of sucks. It is what it is for now. I may have some. They're supposed to send me a bunch of the black versions, so both of these might be going sometime soon.
Is that the row ones in the back there?
No, they're the Valencia.
Your voice is
So,
cutting in and out.
I think your mic
What's
is
that?
cutting in and out just a little bit,
Voice
Shane.
is
I don't
cutting
know
in
if
and
you're
out.
able to like point it up towards you or something.
I'm right next to the. Oh, here we go. How's that?
No, I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Still doing it?
I think
Yeah, I
it
don't
sounds
know.
good now. There you go. There you go.
All right. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I'm like connected to the mic. Oh, so this is the best thing I did. It's not 100% finished. So here's the door. That's the door. I know I posted this. So putting the door so I can still open the LED on it. It was like the greatest thing. That was my greatest in this room.
That is cool. I do like that. That is cool.
So what it did was I kind of pinched it there, so it's fucking. But here down, this is a long throw hinge. So it's wire. I loop it around. It goes up and then over to the door. So that's how that works. I mean, these long throw hinges too. You got to get them. You got to get them where the kind of pops out depth of your fabric wall. That the panels don't opens. Otherwise, if you go with a standard hinge, these panels would touch when they open. But I've got to extend these out another 1/4 inch so that it fills that gap. So that's the only like unfinished thing that I have here that I got to do. And farther, you can work there still. That's it's a shower curtain, shower rod curtain, or grab bar. My bad. Grab bar for your shirt. Yeah, it was like 15 at Home Depot, so I was like,
yeah, I borrowed that idea from you, Shane. So my theater door has a grab bar now.
oh yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
good
but if you ordered it from a door company, it'd be like $300.
Yeah.
Yeah, got one of those. I don't know how to put it. It has one of all those medical certifications.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Would you rather have the one that has the
approval?
medical
Yeah.
certifications or the one that's like $300 that's like fancy that has no certification? It's like, wait,
Yep.
what? Which one can you hold on to? That's funny.
These are temporary stands because I've been a little too lazy to hang them. But those two subs, these are the 1212s, or as they're known as the 1212 Shane Lees, per their website.
Nice.
So those are on the site there. These were cut for my measurements wanted, so they can fit in that space. So that way they're hovering on the LED strip, but they're going to be hung there at some point in time. But right now they're just a stand. View, that's the SVS. I got, and then the other one right over there. So I'm working on that review. More of the 661s. That's my AC unit. My mini, was it mini slip?
Mini split.
Mini split.
Mini split. Yeah. Above the beam, I ran an LED strip in between the ceiling and the beam, so I provide light in the room. Those panels in front of those pop off, so that way I can put more in the box there. I could just pop that off and then just line up the projectors, and hopefully they all have lens,
Shift.
shift projector. But that was the idea for that. I'm gonna fill up that side and that side with some insulation, acoustic treatment as well. I will have some diffusers above the second, so right up in there. Then I'm going to do a fabric mate track and split in the squares for fusion. That little bump out right there is where the light used to be. Wooden fan there. That was my attempt at mudding. Didn't come out very good, but it's always black in here, so you know.
Yeah.
And what else I got back here? One thing I was happy about getting some good space was that I was able to get about 5 in the surround speakers, and that there between the seats. It's 5.5 or no. Yeah, 5.5 at each seat between, you know, each back speaker. So there's good distance, so you get that good separation.
So we got a
I know I said in the
question here in
video,
the
like,
chat. Well, it says, "Are the front seats too close?" So what are your seats at from the screen?
so this is 9.5 feet from here to the front of the screen, and I forgot what this is. But obviously, it's farther than 9.5 feet.
And how big was your
From
screen
the,
again?
this is 150.
150. Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like 9.5 feet is like, yeah. So this is the back row. Then if you sit in the row, I'm like, I mean, that's the front row.
Yeah.
And that's a 16 by 9 screen.
9. If the room was wider, I tried to take up as much room widthwise as I could. Like, this is the edge of the screen. It's like 20 foot wider. Then I would have went with a scope room. But it's possible. So that just led me to pick the 16 by 9. I mean, I could have probably went to like a 180, but then the wide would have gone. This is about as big as I could believe fit in there.
Yeah.
So that's the rationale with that. Plus, anamorphic lens this time around. I get one by one mapping, real true 4K, rather than stretching out and all that stuff. There's one thing that I hate that people do is they get the anamorphic lens and then you have these huge rooms and they have a cinemascope screen and they have this huge space above and below the screen. Whereas if they would have just got a 16 by 9 screen, it would not only would it look better in your room, you would save a lot of money on the lens. So I feel like would dictate ring. Some people
I
just
always
do
tell everybody just to go larger 16 by 9 because when you look at when you do the screen comparisons on like projectorscreen.com or whatever, you're only losing like 8 inches when if you do a constant width. So it's compared to like if I'm going if I got a scope screen and I go down to 16 by 9, I'm dropping from 150-inch scope screen down to about a 90 or 110-inch 16 by 9 screen inside of that, scope screen. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it made sense this time around. The other cool thing that I added was this here. My lighted steps.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, I do like that. That is cool.
This is a new invention. So this was So the light is the step. Go a little brighter. Can I catch focus? Let me manual focus. There we go. So this is the edge of the step. So that's solid. The loop. And then actually here. The red color, it doesn't really bleed as much on the screen. If you put it at like 1%, you don't really notice it. Any color other than red or an orange, you can see it pretty easily reflecting on the screen. As you can see, I left enough space between this step and the side seat, which is between the lamp and the seat, just so I can fit another set of Barcelonas. I came prepared for those seats.
Right. Yeah.
These will pre every corner step a gap there every time. So I had to get the lighted step.
Right.
And then the ramp.
That's a cool feature. I like the ramp that you did.
The ramp is cool.
But it does work in truck to get subwoofers. So that was the idea. And then if I wanted to keep the ramp light on, I did run it across the bottom of the wall. And you can turn all the lights individually per side of the room. The walls are separate, and then the floor lights are also separate as well.
So what's your riser height?
So the riser height is almost 2 feet, because my kitchen, if you open the door, it's like kitchen's rich. So it's like, it used to be a step that went down, and then it was a, so I just built a riser, or just went straight across. So once you come in, straight in, it's like into the room.
Right.
Walk in, the steps take a level. It's almost like, the house is here and then it drops down. So it has that kind of a feel like, oh, you're going into a stadium or something. So
yeah.
So that worked out in my favor for that. And carpet, this is some carpet. That's a lie. It was like $1,800. So carpet, damn expensive.
Carpet is expensive.
Yeah, man.
So somebody says, "Love the black carpet. Where's it from?"
The fabric, DIY, because I'm far too poor to make, and just chin fit. So they're just on the well, and they're just held together by each other. If you were to come over here and you were to get drunk, you would probably take down the entire wall. So the plan to just brad nail some brads in a couple of spots, secure the. And I don't know, JVC NZ8 is back there right now. I've got the 7 and 800 in boxes. I got a Sony 8000 in a box. I got to do something or another in a box. So I got a bunch of going here at a few weeks.
So what about your equipment? We talked a little bit. I think we mentioned that you have a Trinnov. What are you doing for your equipment for your rack?
So that's downstairs. That's in a room below this room. So that room is in shambles right now. So I can't.
No, you don't have to take us down there. What are you using? You're using the Trinnov processor. What type of amp?
That so I got the 8Ms. I got 2 of those, which comes to 16 channels. Obviously, with the 6 heights, I ran out of channels, so I had to use the Macintosh amps to run a couple set of surrounds. So it's like you got 2 Trinnov amps and then a Macintosh amp. That's that. But what can you do? Macintosh amp spot on them. Email description. Shoot me an email. Macintosh amp 572.
So let me re-say that for you because you're cutting out pretty bad. I think you're selling 2 Macintosh amps. Am I correct?
Yeah, 2 Mac. Yeah, so I got that. There's a Lumagen right above the projector. I got that into review, and since that is not IP control, I gotta still use that. Which, by the way,
there's an RS-232 connector for that.
Oh, is there? Oh.
Yeah, you got to use an
Here's
RS-232 connector.
Ooh, nice.
That's my iPad there with my Room remote is essentially kind of like what the Harmony app. I kind of went through it. Yeah, but it's main homepage. These are just quick for my lights, like all lights, my wall lights, ceiling lights. You can click those on and off. If I just wanted to listen to music, I would just button there, whatever you as.
Yeah, Shane, I think the battery on your mic is probably getting low. It's really cutting up.
Weird, because I'm right next to it.
It's probably the battery. It's probably the power.
Oh, let me do this.
But for those of us who might not be aware, Shane does have a full tour of his home theater on his channel that he did a few weeks ago. So you can also check that out. And
Make sure you go over to the Shane Lee channel and like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Join his Patreon.
Patreon, guys.
Send him some super chats.
How's that? How's the mic? Is that better? Am I super
Yeah,
loud?
it does sound better.
Yep.
All right. So this is the new remote. This is here. Just all the control. I have this. Hit that. Right now, it's scrolling through all the titles. That's midway. If midway, there would be like a little timer. To scroll up. These are the player controls. And on the app used to be. Direct control. Trinnov. Some your usual that would be there. Those for the JV. It's a simple app a year, $100 a year for more than 5 rooms or something like that. And this is just a simple charging stand, connects magnetically right to the back there, and just boom, right there. That's an old iPad Pro 11.
I like that.
That's how everything is controlled. I was going to drill a hole through the seat. Left the power cord dangling there. Yeah, but that's pretty much the whole. I mean,
what screen are you using? Is that a Seymour? Is that a Stewart?
Innovations acoustically transparent weave. I don't know if I could show the text, but a lot of this transparent screens are either perf screen. This is a weave screen, and I don't think I can texture, but it's not weird fucking. It's like a weird material. I don't know what I have no idea what. But
You said that was a Screen Innovation screen. I'm sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, innovation.
That's a Screen Innovation. But yeah, that's it, man. That's the theater.
No, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really cool, and it's almost classic or classy. theater vibe, you know. And then you got those big old subs in the back just to say, "Oh yeah, we got some sound in here too." Just a
So
statement.
$1,000 question: is waveforming worth doing all the extra subwoofers and planning and everything? Trinnov, obviously, you got to get a Trinnov. Is it worth the money?
Is it worth? Well, me and like dB of each other, so there's that. I mean, things was to get that even, bass distribution, but I think if good with room each, you can get it pretty close as well, because I think two manually calibrating. But then the waveform did take it up another level. Is it worth it? I mean, if you want to get within half dB of each seat, then yeah. If you don't know,
Yeah.
Do it. I mean, if you already have a Trinnov, then why not?
Right.
Buy a Trinnov just the selling point. I mean, if an AV, then yeah, I'd probably get a Trinnov. Links down below in this video's description if you want to get a Trinnov.
So Don doesn't sell Trinnov yet. He's
No,
Melinda.
look. I have different dealers on the channel. I believe there's enough room for all of us. So
Yeah,
I like to promote everybody. So I
I'm
don't
gonna
try to
start
keep
selling
anybody exclusive.
QNAP NAS and Ubiquity networks.
Yeah, you could do that.
There you go. and beer, but
And
first
beer.
beer, mostly beer.
So, any of you guys have any questions about Shane's theater? It says, are the front speakers the same size as those at the rear? So yeah, he's got the same exact speakers. How many did you say? 18?
18
18
everywhere.
of them.
On the
Same
ceiling.
exact
18.
speakers everywhere. 18 speakers around the whole entire room.
Do you find with those speakers you really have to keep them at tweeter at ear level and you can't raise them much, or is that not a factor?
So because of the two roofs, the speaker level for so everything. So the front three ear level for the second row. The back and the side sounds and the back surrounds are slightly above ear level from the row. Just aim it toward that. Unfortunately, the first set of surrounds worked out well, as since Pro 2, they're aimed over my head so it can hit the guy in the corner, and the same shoots over that guy's head and hits my head. Whereas in the second row, I couldn't really do that without putting it. If I raise the second row surrounds, it'd be a little too close to the rear speaker.
Yeah,
So
it would muddy the Atmos. Yeah.
yeah, I'd make a compromise for the. But
So
sounds good,
Brian,
though. I mean, obviously,
And those brackets, I know RBH drills the holes, but
Yeah.
what type of brackets are those that's swiveling like that? Is that just a TV mount or something?
yeah, those are TV mounts.
Okay.
Yeah, just as long as you have the mount, the pattern, the right VESA pattern, you can get what you want. I think if we're to buy speaker mounts, but, like bracket for like whatever.
so talk to me a little bit about the construction, Shane. As far as doing the panels themselves, like the fabric panels, what what did you use to like just like 1x or 2x1s, or what did you use to fabricate the actual boxes?
Yeah, so those are by two. I forgot what they're. There's a specific name for it. They're inexpensive. I think it's like for like 15 of them, it cost me, I don't know. And
Is it like a
just a little
furring strip?
furring strip. There you go. That's what it's called. So
Yeah.
those are just furring strips. The only negative is finding that you let the strips dry, because I do have one panel here that has now warped. So instead of straight, it's got like on the corners, it's like that now. So I've got to redo that one. That's it.
Paul says you have too much waveforming in your theater. That's what's affecting your mic. Too much interference.
Yeah, no. I was curious about your construction on those. Yeah, I'm thinking about using engineered wood for that, so that just for that reason, so that it doesn't do the warping or the bowing or whatever. Because just like you said,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got studs that I put in that I know were 100% straight. When I level, because I have like a 4-foot level. So I know that the everything was straight, and then you go back a year later, and they're not so straight anymore.
So what did he say? He made a frame out of furring strips. Is that what he said?
Yes.
And then stapled the fabric.
Yep.
But all you have to do is get a piece of 1/4-inch Luan or something like that, and just strip it across the top and the bottom, or down the sides, or that's going to give you that stiffness so it doesn't warp.
Okay.
If you want to buy more material, then just do the whole thing with 1/4-inch material and stress the
Chuck,
fabric.
I didn't have a detached garage with a wood in there to do that.
That's a good thing. Home Depot and Lowe's, they will rip the wood down for you. You go in there with some dimensions and just say, "Give me 8-inch strips."
Yep, they'll do it.
Man, you know how many strips in here? What is it? When I first wrote this down on paper, I was like, I'm gonna need like, I don't know, 50 panels. 50. I need way too.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide. That's why I want to do mine all in like one big panel if I can. To where it'll remove on and off, and if I'm getting the separate colors and stuff like that, I don't know. It'll be tough to put like a 20-foot panel, but so and as far as mounting it, you just said they were friction fit. So did you have like a ledge that they're sitting on, and then
put a piece of wood there, and it just sat on, and then I stacked the other one on top until as unhand. Most of them came out pretty exact to each other, so my measurements were pretty spot on for the most part.
If you're doing that friction fit, you can get some I forgot what they call it, but it's a extra strength type of Velcro.
Yeah,
you can put some Velcro and then fiction fit it, and that will help it even more.
I did buy some Velcro, but they just, I don't know, they must have been cheap Velcro because they started falling. So I was like,
they have I forget the word they use. They have a industrial, or there's something like, there's a stronger Velcro that once you put it on there, it's actually hard to get off.
It's like it's glued on there. But the key to that is applying the actual Velcro itself to the surfaces. That's what usually people have that fails, because you'll have 2 pieces of Velcro, but you'll just like do a minimal, instead of doing like a wood glue or something to actually attach the Velcro and stapling the Velcro, you'll just like spray glue it or something, and the whole glue will fall off.
Yeah,
because it's only as strong as the weakest link. And if you use industrial Velcro, it'll hold like 100-pound panel on the wall. all day long. Shoot,
Yeah.
it'll hold it on the
Yeah.
ceiling. But if
the
the
one
Velcro
problem
itself not
in my
attached,
head.
Yeah.
Like I did some staples because I did that because it was like there was adhesive on it already. So I did that first. But then when I went to pull the panel, then I some staples, and that didn't. So I was just like,
yeah,
that's
got
that crow is stick
and
on the
most of
wall.
the time that industrial stuff is like a couple inches wide. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like your quarter. It's like 3 inches wide minimum. But that stuff is like, I mean, I think I gave the analogy as like, have you ever seen the people where the shows where they throw people against a wall with Velcro suits? Velcro can hold. I mean, people are throwing people against walls that are in Velcro
Yeah, that's
suits.
that industrial stuff.
So that's
You almost got to put a pull tab on there to separate it.
Yeah.
So to start it coming off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun project. Though. It only took me 2 months to put. I want to do the fabric panel on the wall because on any the wall, Nick. So that was another reason for putting the beam on the ceiling because I didn't have to go through the attic. I ran the wire in the ceiling, so I wired through that. Is behind the panels, so you wire everything up super easy.
Yeah.
Got new construction.
Chuck's going to come down. He's going to give me some ideas. So see how I can do mine.
He's gonna tell you how to do stuff, and it's easy for him, and then you're gonna spend like.
I mean, I'm pretty handy. I mean, I know, I know what he's talking about. So, or will
I
talk
used
about.
There's this sheet of stuff. It's like a foil. Sometimes they put it when they doing construction on a block wall. It's like an 1/8 inch thick, but it has a foil back on one side for a radiant barrier or whatever. But I was able to rip that down into 1.5 inch strips. And then I took my fabric and I wrapped one side and stapled it. And I hung it on the wall and I just pulled it. And so all my seams, I don't have any like what do you call it? Those mate strips or whatever. And I'm gonna see if I could show it. Actually, I need to turn on these other lights. The sconces. Where is it?
Let me see if I can get your screen share.
Just turn the sconce on behind you.
Yeah, the one behind.
Then I can turn the other lights down because then you can see better. So that's probably still too dark.
No, we can see it. Or I can
but
see
you
it.
see that seam right there?
Yep.
So
right there at the corner.
I basically took that 1/4 inch strip and I wrapped the fabric around, and I was able to before I wrapped it, actually, I was able to just staple it up and then take the fabric and pull it across the top, push it to the wall, and then use the molding to hold it tight to the wall. So that molding is that fabric is going behind the molding, but at the top, like I use molding up there in the front too. But anywhere I had a seam, I took the strip, put it behind the fabric, wrapped it. I mean, let it hang down long, stapled it up while it was hanging. Then I pulled it around so you don't see it. And I kind of did that in a bunch of places. Let me see if I find. Now it's kind of dark in here. I can't see now. Let me turn the other light back on.
So those of you that don't know our channel, Chuck did a theater tour on our channel pretty early on. I would probably in the first 10 or 15 episodes for the podcast. So if you want to check out his stuff he's got.
So this fabric, before I pulled it across, I just, took a push pin, held it even, put a strip on, put the fabric, let it hang across the stud, put the fabric, stapled that thing on, and then I pulled it off the push pin and wrapped it around my framing right here. You can actually see some of the staples I use.
Yeah.
You can't really see them normally, but when I'm up close and the light shining, you can see them. That's the only staples you can see.
You got to
There.
get you a permanent marker to cover those, Chuck. That's not
Yeah,
acceptable.
I thought that too. But then I said, you can't, nobody sees it. So I was like, okay, nobody noticed it. But yeah, that's kind of, and the same thing on that seam right up there next to that speaker. So it looks like nice seams. And all I used was a staple gun.
Yep. Electric staple. You probably use a manual one.
No, actually I have a it looks like a manual one, but it's hooked up to a compressor. So I don't have to push that hard.
Yeah. Because man, whenever I was doing my sound panels, I was like, man, I did one. It took me as long to staple one panel with a manual stapler, and then I bought because I'm the Milwaukee guy, so I bought the battery operated. I did like 5 more panels in the same amount of time it took me to staple the one with a manual staple. But I put the staples. I pull my fabric pretty taut, I took a few years of homemade. So I had all the seams perfect, and I put staples like every 2 inches, and I was like, good God, this is annoying. And I'm like, damn.
Now,
got
if
the pneumatic.
I do in-wall speakers, I'll pull, on wall or whatever. I'm gonna pull everything back down, and I may just redesign the whole theater, because at that point, once I pull it down, I may do my panels a little differently as far as how I did that, and I may just do it totally, because I want to add some lighting like he has,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
some of that.
Yep.
I put my theater together so fast that I wasn't trying to do anything but get it working, So I tore the whole room down, switched everything around from the back to the front. I built these soffits so that I can run on my speaker wire and my electrical, and so I made those are basically chases, and I was able to put my Atmos speakers in those, so I didn't have to cut any holes in my ceiling. They're just in those, because even those soffits, the front has a wall, but the bottom is just fabric with insulation. There's no sheetrock on the bottom side, but except for little spots where my lights and speakers are.
Made your homemade bass trap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But like I said, I would I might take a little more, if I do change everything, I might take a little more time so that I can add some lighting and just do a few more things that I rushed through the first time. Yeah. But I'm in no rush. I'm liking what I got so far. Everybody comes in here and thinks it's amazing, so I don't dare say anything different,
Yeah. You don't say, well, I hear you.
An old time carpenter told me that, like he says, the problem with, and he would say us carpenters, he says, we'll build something that everybody thinks is fantastic, but then we will be the one to say, yeah, but if you look right here, I scratched this or I did that. So he always told me, just shut up,
That's why I never followed in my dad's footsteps, because I'm like, man, I'm way too particular. I'm like, but I did this. I'm like, I'll take 10 times longer than it should to do something, because I have to be perfect.
I've
changed my ways. I've changed my ways quite a bit. I'm like, okay, I can live with it. No one's gonna see that. No one's gonna see it. I have to keep saying that. No one's gonna notice. So,
dude, it was so tough for me to hand the keys over to these guys today to actually do the mudding for me. I was like, you don't know how hard it was for me not to peek my head inside of the door when they're doing the mudding, because I just wanted, I want to do it right. I want to do it the even though they're the experts, right? It's like I've done everything perfectly so far. I don't want to just hand it over and be like, here you go, because those guys will make it look good, but it won't be 100%. The corner might not be 100% packed with mud or something like that, because I'm looking to soundproof the room somewhat too, right? So I'm hoping that they pack the corners tight and everything
If you're
else like
relying
that.
on mud to do your soundproofing, you don't have soundproof. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care how much sound. I don't care
Well,
how
I
much.
mean,
mud
not all the joints fit 100%. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's sometimes you do have to.
Eighth an inch is perfect when it comes to construction. I mean, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah. If you're within an eighth of an inch, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a 90-degree corner.
Nope.
Only on paper.
Yeah.
In my CAD drawing, though, it shows it.
But what people don't realize is when you're taping, you have a 90-degree corner. First of all, the studs are all crooked anyway. But besides that, you got a 90-degree corner with your drywall. Once you put that tape on there and you start mudding and trying to feather it out, you've changed the corner. It's no longer 90 because it's thicker in the corner and feathered out,
Mm-hmm.
So just by mere way construction works, you can't get a 90-degree corner. Same thing with in the middle of the drywall. You put a piece of tape to cover that joint, and then you put 3 layers of mud, and you keep feathering it, and you feather it so that it looks flat. Otherwise, it just looks like a hump.
Unless you do a level 5, then you
hump.
can get it all level.
Yeah, that means you
got to mud the whole wall.
The whole wall from one end to the other. But even then,
nobody got time for that.
You got a knife. It's gonna have some
even then,
waves in
it's not
it.
straight. You put a laser on that thing, you'll see it's still an eighth of an inch off, even a level 5. That's
So you try to feather it out so it looks flat. That's all. You don't see the hump when the sunlight hits that wall at a certain angle.
Yep.
Well, look, Shane, we definitely appreciate you. We definitely appreciate you joining the channel tonight. Same with you, Giles. For those of you that don't know Shane's channel, head on over to Shane Lee and check out all his videos. He's got a lot of great videos there. And then also for Giles, head over to Giles' channel. And both of these guys are staples in the YouTube space. We definitely appreciate them joining us this evening. Shane, thank you so much for the theater tour. Really appreciate that, and all your recent reviews that you've done. Can't thank you enough for coming on to the show. If you guys would like to be a guest on the show, we do not care what type of theater you have. You can just have a 2-channel system. You can have a $100,000 system. You can have a $5,000 system, whatever but we would love to have you on the show to showcase what you enjoy every day in your theater. So if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send us an email to hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. It's on the banner down below. Shane, you got quite a few things for sale over there. You got some Macintosh. You got a Valerion projector. You got all kind of other stuff. Make sure to hit Shane up on his from the description down below if you're looking for anything that he's getting rid of. Giles, what do you got coming up next on your channel, sir?
Oh man, so let's see. Going to do some chairs. Working on that, and the Onkyo RZ30 is coming up, and a TCL 100-inch or 98-inch coming up. I'm going to do a series of videos around Rune and 2-channel world, and building a Rune server, and a little PC review, and some other endpoints for Rune reviews on that stuff. Oh man, what else is going on? I've still got to do the SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacles. That's coming. I've got to do the Hisense PX3 Pro. That's on the way. So yeah, just a bunch of goodies coming up. Lots of fun stuff. Oh, and the RBH speakers for sure. That's a big one. I've got them out and figuring those out now. Looking good.
Which ones do you have?
I've got the let me tell you, I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me see. Freestanding. I think it's on the 3rd page. The SFTRs. Yeah, the SFTRs.
Oh, those are
So it's got the I think it's double 12s on the bottom, and then the
those are the ones Gene has.
are they? Right on.
Yeah, he has double 12 top and bottom though.
Oh yeah, he's got a thing. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's cool. Yep. So I'm excited for those.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on those as well.
You guys know the drill. Make sure we're subscribing, hitting that like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff like that to all the channels here. We got Ike's channel, Easy HT Tech, my channel, Horizon Home Theater, Giles at Giles McCoy, and Shane at Shane Lee. Definitely appreciate everyone joining us this evening. Shane and Giles, thanks again. Really appreciate it. Thank you for celebrating our 1-year anniversary with us. We definitely appreciate everyone in the comments, in the chat tonight. Thank you guys for joining us for the 1-year celebration. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Later.